Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Check this thing gone. Hello? Are you out there?
First Guy Omaha Radio, First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
Oh yeah. I'm still gonna write some bars to this. Sucker MCs.
Feel free. Go for it.
Hey. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Say again.
So got a new beat pad yesterday, by the way, though. So
new equipment celebration. That's what's up.
Might come with some new beats for y'all.
Welcome. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on this fresh edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning.
In the morning.
My name is Paul B. I got Buddi3 Da Gawd in the house. Yo. And it is Friday, March 10th, 2024. What's happening?
Yeah, man. Fresh Friday edition.
A fresh Friday edition of First Guy Omaha in the morning. I see Brooke Allen in the chat already giving us a good morning on YouTube. Appreciate you. Pop said he's went to bed real late, so he always sends me a warning. Not gonna be on tomorrow. Went to bed real late last night, so all right, cool. Okay. So shout out to Pops for letting us know what's going on with him.
Must have just went to sleep, seeing how early or late it is in Vegas.
Yeah, he's like, you just getting sleep at 4 a.m, so he ain't getting up and he ain't gonna, or 3 a.m, so he's not getting up at 4. So
right.
Yeah, that's what's up. But welcome everybody who is getting up early with us this morning. I see Kimber Snipes in the chat. Good morning, y'all. Good morning to you. Appreciate it. Let us know. I guess we'll get some Facebook people in here pretty soon to see if it's working, because I'm not sure if it is this morning. If Facebook is working, then thank you, Facebook. Also, we're on Twitter now as well. So if you happen to be a Twitter person, I'm calling Twitter. I ain't calling them X.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah, man.
Your ex name Twitter.
But yes.
So your ex name Twitter?
Right. Yeah, the platform formerly known as.
Yeah, man.
But thank you guys for joining us wherever you're joining us from. Again, we always want that feedback from you. Where do you hear us? Where can we meet you? What platforms do you like? And of course, we're leaning more towards the YouTube platform. I see we got some Facebook people in though, so that's good.
Hey,
I know it's working. Judy Prinzer says listening. Appreciate it. Good morning to you. Sue Kessler Hagen in the chat as well says good morning. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, it's Friday. So how y'all feeling, man? What's going on for the weekend? Of course, we're going to have an extensive haps today. And for those of you that don't know, we have a special guest, Hasani Lee, coming in this morning. And he's going to be giving us an update on what's popping with the OHA situation.
Man.
Omaha Housing Authority, the battle between the tenants and the management. And of course, we had him on a couple weeks ago, and he let us know about his story. That was our first 3-hour show, and everybody was really just tripping on the story. And then, of course, a lot of you guys went down to help to support him when they tried to evict him. And he went down to court in the courthouse, and a lot of the chat chimers went down to support him. Shout out to Sherman Wells, Paul Film, and everybody. Boost to the roots.
Man.
So we're going to be able to catch up with him today and see exactly what happened from his perspective and find out about next steps. I see that one of the chat chimers, Cia Larkin, helped them put up a Facebook page. So that's good. We'll be able to keep up with some things with them there as well. But yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit of a regular thing to check in with that brother.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of a correspondent. Also looking forward to getting an update on the classes. Apparently he and Sherman have teamed up to not just help his father, help himself, but he's trying to help other folks too in the midst of all this drama. So yeah, definitely looking forward to getting some good information from that brother and seeing what's going on. And looking forward to speaking to all of you as well. As always, everybody coming through, joining the conversation, letting your mind be free, letting your voice be heard. So yeah, of course it is Friday as well, as Paul usually reminds us. We'll try to get into some extensive haps. We'll see. Of course, there's been a lot of things going on this weekend. Apparently, the Cinco de Mayo had to get pushed back because of Berkshire Hathaway, Berkshire. So yeah, we'll jump into it.
Yeah, parades happening. Yeah, lots happening. As a matter of fact, I think there were some calls for some volunteers for the parade and stuff like that.
Okay.
So We talking about a little later. But before we get into that, Judy Printer says allergies are killing me. Same here.
Tis
Hope
the
you hearing my
season.
voice.
Tis the season.
Black Dynamite gives us the top of the morning, y'all. Good morning, good morning. Wanda Lewis says good morning. Appreciate you. And Mama God in the house. Good morning, First Sky fam.
Hey, my dudes.
Yeah, how you doing over there, buddy? How you feeling?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Just going through the week. We'll be spending some time with the fam this weekend, and
Yeah,
preparing people making plans to make their way to Omaha for the Levi Blake funeral situation.
yeah.
So yeah, still dealing with that and all those things. But yeah, I'm definitely glad to be here as always. Looking forward to conversation. Looking forward to catching up with Brother Lee. And yeah, just living, man. Just living. I'm all right. Not too bad. Not too good. Just yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right.
All
How
right.
about yourself?
Staying afloat. I'm doing all right. I'm a little tired this morning. I got
Bro,
caught up late last night, man, with the show.
man, what's this?
Man, this went down. Black Twitter, a people's history. They finally have broken down the whole journey from the early 2012, 2013, the changes, the things that went down, the hashtags that came out of this, Black Lives Matter, all the important stuff that went down really came through from Black Twitter and really showed how it shaped the culture.
Hmm.
Awesome four part documentary. I was gonna watch one and go to bed, and then of course that didn't happen. So
Man.
yeah,
That's how it
but
goes sometimes. That's how it goes. That's interesting. I ever tell
yeah,
you about the story about the time I was like one of the first like 5 people on Twitter?
yeah,
I
yeah, man,
had
it's
no
a trip.
idea what it was, what was going on. Wasn't
Hmm.
nobody really even the tweet or talk to. Had no idea what a tweet was. It was so foreign. It was a
Yeah.
part of info tech class. Like we were studying social media and what this new booming site was, and yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you're
Before
gonna be
any
surprised.
artist.
Definitely should check this out because it really showed how it shaped the culture in politics and the movement, the Black Lives Matter movement, like all around the world after George Floyd, and
Mm-hmm.
heavy when it comes to citizen journalism, especially like the third episode.
Hmm.
All the philosophies they talked about. So I highly encourage everybody to jump into that. Just like I highly encourage you to jump into this show. Fresh
Hey,
edition of First Sky Omaha is happening right now. We appreciate you coming on through First Sky Omaha in the morning.
in the morning.
I'll be Buddi3 Da Gawd. Let's get it.
Hey, let's go.
Thank you for getting up early with us this morning and giving us all the good mornings and all the good love. And I just appreciate everybody that's joining us this morning, very early in the morning, saying hi. Christy Nor gives us a good morning. Marlon Harrison says happy TGIF First Sky family. Yeah, that's what I need. I need to hear about it. I need to hear the how y'all doings and the good morning. So appreciate that very much before we get the show started. Lots to talk about today though. It's kind of another housing episode. And of course, it's going to be, the crown jewel of today is being able to speak to Brother Hasani Lee again, a tenant who is living in the tower, in the Underwood Towers, and is in a battle with the Omaha Housing Authority right now.
Man.
Just trying to maintain, trying to stay there, trying to get some things fixed, maintenance to the building that allows it to be livable and to take care of his aging elderly father, and running into a whole bunch of brick walls. And if you've been following us, you've been following the story, so it'll be nice to catch up with him again. So stay tuned. He will be on very soon. So with that said, we're going to get the show started. Brooke in the chat says, I was early on Twitter too. CEO of Zappos had us all sign up before it was known.
Man.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep. Tony Johnson is asking, who are the best Black Omaha people to follow on social media to stay up to date on things going on?
Great
Yeah, good
question.
question. Yep, good question. We try to do what we can do here. Of course, William King, 95.7 The Boss. He talks about some things in the morning. I think he's going to be making some changes too.
Mhm.
coming up on helping to have more news, more things going on. We check out the Hood Table, of course.
Sherman
Conversations with
Wells.
Cheryl Weston, Sherman Wells. Yep, Sunday sermon with Sherman.
Mhm.
So yeah, we're constantly trying to build that up. I think somebody put that question out on Friends of First Guy Omaha as well. I think Kimmer did. So
Yep.
Kimmer put that question out. Yeah, give us the list.
Polling the people.
Yep, yep. Tony Johnson says seems hard getting info about things from organizations. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, we're learning that most organizations are kind of bogged down doing the work and the resources that they have and the team members that they have and all that they have goes towards doing the work and not necessarily spreading the information or even capturing or promoting the work that they're actually doing, let
Yeah.
alone other things going on in the community. So,
Yeah.
yeah, and having been there, it can be a challenge. Can
It's
be
a
a
challenge
challenge,
for us, and that's all we doing.
man.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
man. Yeah.
but Merle's reviews is in the chat with some lyrics. Got to hit them with the pop gun.
Okay.
Go ahead, Rome.
Okay.
Yeah, bringing the funk this morning. Appreciate that. Marion Williams says, "Happy Friday. Hope all is well today. Glad to be here.
Oh
Appreciate you being
yeah.
here."
Glad to have you.
Heather Williams says, "Good morning, everyone." So yeah,
Folks
nice
coming on in.
nice group of people. Do us a favor and share the show. If you're on Facebook, YouTube, share the show on your page so we can get as many people in, and the conversation as big as possible. And also just to witness the conversation with Brother Hasani Lee. I think there's some history being made here in Omaha, some Omaha history for real.
Man.
This battle is a little different than some of the battles in the past with OHA. So we'll see what goes on with it for sure.
Well, let the people tell it. This could go all the way to the Supreme Court. So this could definitely, end up being landmark, not just, history making for Omaha or Nebraska. But we'll see, what this means nationally as far as
Oh, I think they mean the Nebraska Supreme. There's a good chance it's going to be at the Nebraska Supreme Court.
hey, you never know how high it can go.
Right
Once it makes it to the Nebraska Supreme Court, there's only one more level to go.
there, you
You
go.
know what I mean? So again, you never know how this might play out and how high this goes. So yeah, we'll definitely continue to keep an eye on this and I'm looking forward, especially in light of some of the other stories that have come out this week, some of the
Hmm.
videos and tours and some of the things happening. So yeah, yeah, looking forward to speaking to Brother Lee. But we also do have some other stories to dive into. I don't know if you want to tee that up or how you
Yeah,
feeling, Paul.
yeah. So let's go ahead and let's talk about what we will be talking about today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, aside from Brother Hassani Lee's battle and back and forth with OHA, there's some other housing things going on that we would like to discuss. Definitely been looking at what's going on with our homeless brothers and sisters. Again, houseless, unsheltered, really homeless brothers and sisters. Apparently, have been that population has been booming as of late. Shout out to Chris Baby Boy Bowling. He has a new article out from the Flatwater Free Press talking about exactly what's going on with the homeless situation, and not just homeless, but again, unsheltered homeless. That's the individuals who aren't just homeless, but don't have space in say, the Sienna Francis home or some of the other facilities that are available. They're just out and about. So again, we've seen many of the encampments being closed down. We've seen some ordinances and some laws change in that regard. So yeah, we're going to definitely talk about that, especially in light of this. Apparently, Nebraska has been identified as one of the third best states in the nation to live in, which is quite interesting. Kind of seeing the juxtaposition of those two. If it's such a
Mm.
good state, why can't people find housing? We'll definitely talk about that. Also, looking at some other things in regards to voting, reminding the people that this upcoming Tuesday is the primary, May 14th. Again, this upcoming Tuesday is the primary. There's still some more information, more things coming out about early voting, absentee voting. Again, this is the first election that we have under the Nebraska voter ID law. So, what are some of the stipulations, requirements with all of that? Again, what are the numbers? What is the voter turnout looking like? Again, a lot of things, a lot of questions, a lot of conversation to be had in regards to voting. So we'll definitely talk about some of those things. Hopefully, clarify some things, get you some useful information, and hopefully, everybody, if you haven't voted, is prepared to vote ahead of this Tuesday. Again, the primary coming up. So again, we'll be talking about those things, and of course, if there's anything in your heart and mind that we're not talking about, feel free to drop that into the chat. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. In the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo,
What's the
yo,
word? What's the word?
man, just jumping in, man. Appreciate everybody coming in with their comments. Malik Rogers says slight disagreement. People know how and do have time to post on social media, just not as consistent when it comes to their leadership or organizational roles. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
You want more information on their leadership organizational roles? I do see some of these organizations are posting, but we're finding that you got to do more than post. You
Hmm.
really ought to have a whole PR and marketing department, and that's one thing, especially when it comes to black organizations, black businesses. That's the last thing we spend money on is that part,
Man.
because we're such a kind of a word of mouth culture that it's hard to even think about the money that you need in order to really put that publicity out there. But I definitely agree. There needs to be more of it, and a little bit more transparency when it comes to leadership of organizational roles and stuff like that too. More getting to know the leaders of these organizations, more personally, might be a good idea. So there's some things out there that Hulu special about Black Twitter really opened my eyes a lot about
Hmm.
the way that we're word of mouth culture. We really took over the world by our word of mouth culture, jokes, memes, the things that we do. They changed their whole trajectory of the platform because of Black Twitter, basically. So it was really interesting one. I definitely highly suggest you check it out. It's on Hulu now. It's called Black Twitter. uh Forgot the rest of the name of it. Black Twitter, A People's History. Very interesting set of a short series there. Anthony Rogers Wright in the chat, good morning, appreciate you coming in. He says if you're voting in the Dem primary, don't vote for Biden, write in uncommitted and show solidarity with Gaza. Okay,
Okay.
there's your suggestion from brother Anthony Rogers Wright. Wanda Lewis says most organizations get funding to share information and referencing. Hmm. Okay, that's news to me. I didn't know that they were actually get funding for to share information out that way.
Yeah, but
Mhm.
again, what type of information? There's just again, there's one thing to kind of do the work and share, information about
Results.
resources and,
Mhm.
results, and that's a part of the work. But as far as I think we're talking about actually promoting what the business or organization is about, the work that they're doing, who they're helping, how they're helping. That's a different side of the thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and everybody we talk to, we definitely get that impression that that everybody says the same thing. Well, we got our head down working so hard, we don't really look up and explain to everybody exactly what's happening. They do take my criticism was that they do take the time to get on the national platforms and stuff like that and talk about how good and all the results and everything they're doing. So
Hmm.
they could spend a little bit more time talking to the people about it. But yeah, they do take the time to and it's part of the reporting. I understand, especially for nonprofit organizations, you got to report what it is that you got going on if you want to keep on getting funding. And I think that's where their efforts to promote goes to their PR and their marketing goes to reporting and shaping things in a way that they can continue to get funding for the next year. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Those kinds of presentations. So yeah, I agree with y'all on that. Kimber Snipe says I want to hear more about this funding for sharing of information. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah, good thing. Definitely good thing. You being the ED of One Omaha definitely should hear about that. There should be a part of every grant, and every time that you get any money into the organization, that's going to have to be a part of it. I've worked for organizations that weren't being diligent with that,
Hmm.
and it really hurt their ability to fundraise later. So we're constantly fighting on that too. Like I said, this is all we do. We still having a hard time getting the word out about what it is that we're doing and all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of tough.
Yeah, but here we are spreading information, So again, it's two different things. It's two completely different things.
Kimmer says, if I'm hearing Buddy correctly, then I believe people are not setting their goals and metrics properly or not tracking them.
Hmm.
Maybe some. The way I'm setting up goals for One Omaha is so that I can also have information to be present at the end of the year. Right.
Well,
Yeah.
again, it's two different things. Like there's gathering data and presenting information as a report to funders and philanthropic organizations, and doing the things that you need to do to get the money. And of course, most organizations are doing that, or they will close eventually. I think what we're talking about is getting the information to the people. Like, for instance, I think of Heart Ministry, the Heart Ministry Center. Of course, they have people coming through. They have one of the largest food pantries in the state, if not the largest food pantry in the state. Did a lot of work during the pandemic. They have all types of facilities. They have a laundromat, a clinic, kitchens. They have a flower shop that they hire formerly incarcerated individuals. They're doing a lot of things, and I'm sure they're reporting on all that to their funders. But how many of you know about that stuff? How many in the public know about these resources that are available? So,
Yeah.
I just want to clarify the two things that we're talking about. Yes, there's a whole gathering of data and reporting and the whole mechanism. And yes, they have people, most organizations have people on staff to do that job. That's how they get the funding. But we're talking about, again, to the public. Like, where is the communication to the public about the resources?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not quite understanding what we're talking about here, but again, I'm just trying to make that delineation.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking that that's what we're talking about. Those two different things. Um,
So y'all let
I
us
think
know.
I think we're used to this kind of entertainment tonight style. This is what this celebrity is doing now.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
There's it's interesting when you got organizations in town and they're directly affecting you and people that you know, but you don't really know nothing about them or nothing about the organization. It doesn't feel like it's open all the way. Sometimes it's just a matter of a style, bro.
Mm.
Like if you really wanted to get to know what was going on with, like, say, 100 black men. I mean, I remember when I first got hip to 100 black men organization, it was because I was playing in the band and they had a gala and I played the show and got to know who they were. And then after that, it was, talking to folks that were there. They were sending me invitations, and I'd go back and play the next year. Only real way I got to know about this organization and who was part of it was, like, uh, going to all the stuff that they go to and do, which, like I said, it wasn't really my style to do that. Like, I wasn't going to go to every 100 black men meeting. I might hit them once a year at the gala when I'm playing some music, but that's as
Mm-hmm.
far as I'm going to go.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, it's that part too. Like, if you want to dig in and find out, these organizations are having meetings every week. You can show up and ask questions if you wanted to. Like, what are we really, what kind of publicity, what kind of marketing are we really asking to have, where we can kind of
Mm.
just sit back and understand, or do we need to step up and go find out more ourselves? So,
Right,
this
right.
it's all information as well. So, and it's not just indicative of organizations. We kind of have a problem with that altogether, really, in Omaha and Nebraska as a whole. I think, especially in Omaha, even when it comes to, like, entertainment and stuff like that. Like, we don't be knowing everything that's happening because information is just so siloed in the first place. If you don't go
Mm.
seek it out, it's like, if you don't go seek it out or you don't depend on the algorithm, then you're not gonna know. So, it's made our area especially susceptible to or it's made us have to sure up the word of mouth side of communication here more than even before, because otherwise you're only going to get the information that the algorithm thinks you should get if you don't go seek it out. So
In
I
the
think that
silo.
one, yeah, silos. I think one of the things that my goal for First Sky Omaha is to be one of those kinds of organizations that can do some of that highlighting for organizations that don't have a big PR or marketing budget, or not doing a great job of being transparent or showing what they got going on or whatever. Which is why we have the kind of interviews we do. We bring people on and we talk as long as we need to talk in order to kind of get to some answers. So, hopefully that's something that we can continue to do and do at a bigger scale later. But it's just a thought, because I agree. We all are having a problem with communicating out information, and we're trying to work on that on a daily basis. Really.
Yeah, yeah. Few interesting points being made in the chat though.
Hmm.
Kimmer says people can also reach and ask, which is something that I'm thinking, and actually, Marlon actually kind of articulated exactly what my thoughts are. Saying the information about what these organizations is out there. But let's be honest: are people really looking, or do people just want to be spoon fed information? Which there is that part of it, and I think you kind of alluding to that, Paul. Are you active? Are you actively looking for this information, or is this something like you say you're just relying on your network and your algorithm that you set on social media to spoon feed you the information?
And to me, it's that's a question, but it's even there's even more nuance to that question. Like Tony Johnson is saying, people
Yeah.
are just not as responsive to email and text messages as they say they are. It could come down to style. How do you communicate? What gets in front of your face? What pass?
Mm.
We all are filtering out information constantly because we can't just take it all in all the time. So what are the filter blocks for us? Just like learning, some people are better visual learners, some people are better audio learners, some people, all these different kinds of ways that we get the message. And so some of us have to try to think about like putting the message out in all kinds of different forms. On a
Mm-hmm.
podcast for audio people, on the radio for people that are driving around, get their information from NPR, the radio channel. People that sit here and watch this kind of thing, podcast, video podcast, or live stream. So there's so many different ways that you can get it now. You kind of got to look at yourself and be like, what way do I do? What way helps me? What way do I get it? What way do I need it? And
Mm-hmm.
then that's why we're constantly asking, like, where are you at? Let's meet you. We're trying to meet you where you're at. Where is that? So I think that's interesting. But I also really see, the problem with a lot of organizations that just aren't putting any time in the time and money and importance on marketing and PR. And that's been a big problem with a lot of organizations, not just in our community. Every community is having a tough time with that. They don't exactly know what to share, how to share things sometimes. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty interesting.
I think Tony Johnson's kind of putting a nail in this thing. That's a pretty good point. He says marketing is simply a spoon feeding service. That is its purpose, to get all the information out to the people.
True
So
that. Yep, yep.
pardon so.
Gotcha.
And thank you. But yes, that's a good point, Tony. That's a real good point. And yeah. I mean, that is the purpose. So the question is, where are the people? Where are you looking for your information? Is it social media? Is it word of mouth? Is it text messages? Is it email? Again, how do you get your information? And let us know so we can better improve how we market and how we get our information to you.
Speaking of which, shout out to everybody who participated in the contest that we just had. We
Yes, yes.
giving away some drunk ship coffee bags, bag of beans. You guys, the winners are going to have that in the mail soon. Our whole purpose with that was to gather email addresses, because one of the ways that we're going to try to get information out is the newsletter that's going to be launched in June 7th. So save the date. Come and check us out. We'll be talking about the next wave of what's going to happen with First Sky Omaha and what we're trying to do. Of course, this is a culmination of talking to all of you all the time and trying to get some feedback and hearing what we need to do, and then getting together and trying to figure it out, figure out what we can do, and so on and so forth. So we're constantly moving and shaping what's going on here. So we appreciate everybody's comments on that too. But yeah, just if you want to be a part of that, if a if a newsletter is something that works for you, then definitely hit us up, firstsky@gmail.com, and shoot us your email address, and we'll add you to that for the newsletter coming up. So
Yep, there you
appreciate it
go.
very much. Also, Rose Review says, hit the like button. 6 more subscribers to 300. Appreciate that very much. We do have a goal of 500, so tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. Really appreciate that. Sue Kessler Hagen in the chat says, I'm so excited to try mine. Thank you so much. Right on. One of the winners there. That's what's up, man.
There you
So
go.
shout out to Drunk Ship Coffee. Again, go to drunkshipcoffee.com, order your coffee. It comes in a whole bean that's medium roasted, and it's sourced from one farm in Ethiopia, which we have figured out now is the birthplace of coffee. So
Man,
that's what's
the
up.
motherland, the
The
source.
motherland. I appreciate that. One thing that Kimber Snipes said earlier that I wanted to jump on real quick too before we move on.
Okay.
We were saying something about Heart Ministries, and she was saying that they do direct services too, and that when you were going down the list of things that Heart Ministry does, I was thinking, yeah, they also they also have some medical facility there. I mean,
The
not
clinic.
facility, but clinic. They do dental work. They do a lot of stuff, even to the point, and they're partners of ours, and we've been working with them a little bit. And when we went down and checked out the place, we were like blown away by all the different things that we didn't know they had too.
Man.
So that's yeah, that's that's we think about that in those terms of like, especially the people that we're calling partners and that we're working with. We want to make sure that First Sky Omaha really lets you know about everything that they're about, because we kind of really vet who it is that we're going to work with and see if they're doing good work ourselves. So it would be one more step after that would just be to be able to put that information out there and market that information for them
Mhm.
as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
just wanted to make sure that you got the full scope of Heart Ministries, because they know they're doing the good work for
Oh
real,
yeah.
for real.
Oh yeah. And we're gonna be working more closely with them. So definitely, continue to look out for that and some other things coming down the pipe. So yeah, yeah, big shout out to Heart Ministries and all of our partners doing the great work. We're trying our best to, big you up and spread the information. But again, each one teach one. So, tell a friend to tell a friend. Also tell a friend to tell a friend about, First Guy Omaha. We're here doing the thing. So again, appreciate all the support that we've been receiving. Again, if you haven't, as Mayor Sanchez is reminding the people, hit the like button. We need about 6 more subscribers to get to 300 on YouTube. But again, our ultimate goal is 500 subscribers on YouTube. So yeah, we can start getting in some funds and keep this thing going, man. Of course, we're here to give you the information and to reach the people. But again, this platform costs money, and these mics and equipment, all this stuff costs money to keep this thing going. So again, big shout out to everybody who has supported us thus far.
Big time, big time. Let's go ahead and jump into some news here before we get to our special guest. Again, if you're just joining us, Brother Hasani Lee is coming back on to talk about some updates in the situation that's going on with Omaha Housing Authority, and him and his wife that are in town trying to help his elderly father and deal with conditions that are so horrible over there
Man,
yeah, it's just it was a tearjerker when he was on last, telling us about everything that was going on there. So I just my heart's still full from everybody who is a Chad Chimer that decided that they wanted to help, and that went down and supported him when they tried to evict him. Uh, Man, there's so much to it, and I can't wait to catch back up with him and talk about this too. So thank you. I appreciate that. Before we jump into a story, Kimmer says, I'm collecting emails and telephone numbers of people in North O who would like to be included in a conversation about Highway 75 and the damage it did to North O and what can be done.
okay.
Smelling a documentary film coming on something on this subject.
Man,
I don't know
man.
what you got brewing. What you got brewing, Kimmer?
Yeah, yeah. That's
Cut up your
interesting and
sleeve.
very important conversation. So yeah, yeah. Keep us informed on that.
There you go, buddy. What's first on the agenda today?
Man. Let's see.
You
How
supposed to come right with it. You over here guessing? What?
Yeah, yeah. I'm thinking because I was gonna go a different way, and then you just kind of you took it somewhere. But I just stick with what I was gonna do, man. Because again, we're talking about information. We're talking about getting information out to the people, meeting the people where they are. And it looks like we have some brothers and sisters out on the streets, boots to the roots, talking about
Mm,
voting information and trying to again reach their voter turnout goals. Talking about again, Black Votes Matter, which is another
oh,
organization that people have some questions about what it is that they're doing, what activities are they getting into, what work is being done, especially in light of this election season. Again, the primary is just days away. So yeah, what's going on? And according to WOWT, members of the nonprofit Black Votes Matter and the Institute of Community Engagement and other local groups urge North Omaha residents to vote next Tuesday, and they were out on the Deuce down on 24th and Lake over the weekend or earlier this week. And there are some individuals, actually, Black Votes Matter, Get Out the Vote director, Pastor Dwayne Hawkins, who again is sort of stepping in and helping in light of our brother Preston Love Jr.'s election campaign. But he says, with our nation full of division and divisiveness, the anchor of our democracy lies in the opportunity for people to make their voices heard by going to the polls. He says locally, it's important as it relates to services, as it relates to things like education and the legislature, as it relates to funding for various projects and programs. I think it's really important that we understand that we have the voice to determine the direction that our communities go. And there's actually, again, a number goal that has been set. And in October, Black Votes Matter launched a campaign to get 1,500 new North Omaha voters registered by the 2024 election cycle. Organizers Tuesday said they're still working to get that number, They also have a goal to getting about 60% turnout. So again, not just registering people to vote, but making sure 60% of those registered voters actually go to the polls. Williams went on to say, we want to make sure that everybody's voice is heard. Our country is designed to have everybody's voice heard, and it's important that we do that. They said they've been going door to door and engaging voters since March, and said that they'll provide rides to polling places when the time comes. The League of Women Voters, who we actually discussed about partnering with as well, they're providing English and Spanish language election information on their online voter service. Again, shout out to the League of Women Voters who have recently teamed up with the Reader. Again, the Reader is no longer publishing or producing content as far as their paper goes, but the League of Women Voters has for a long time published their voter guide with the Reader and seems to still be doing that work online. So again, big shout out to them. The Douglas County Election Commission is also reminding people to bring their driver's license and state identification because of the new voter ID law, which we'll be getting into here soon. But again, big shout out to not only these organizations, of course, Black Votes Matter, but also the Nebraska Civic Engagement Table, which shout out to Kimra. We're learning more and more about. Of course, she was a part of that table, and now we have like individuals like Sister White Shell still working closely with the table. They went on to say just those easy things you can knock out beforehand. Again, getting your voter plan ahead, getting information about who you're going to vote for, all of these things, knowing that drop box, knowing the polling place, knowing where to go. If you're going to go vote for lunch or before or after work, all those things will make the process much, much easier. So again, please make sure you're informed. Please make sure you're ready. As we've learned here on the show through other reports, that you can't really ask poll workers any real information, or they can't really help you too much when it comes time to vote. You kind of have to be informed yourself. So again, Tuesday is coming up. It's right around the corner. Please make sure we're doing that due diligence. If you have any questions or at least need to ride to the polling place, or you just need assistance, North Omaha residents can set up rides by calling 402-515-1442. Again, that's 402-515-1442. You may also call Election Protection Hotline to report any election issues. And that hotline is 866-687-8683. Again, that's 866-687-8683. So again, let's make sure we're as informed as possible when going to the polls.
Anybody received any information or saw the brothers out there, the Black Votes Matter team on 24th and Lake? Anybody? I heard they were going door to door. Did anybody get their door knocked? What say you, the people who are out and about living in the neighborhoods? Are you seeing the presence of these organizations that are trying to help that? I see that in the chat. Let me see if I can find that again. Tony Johnson said, "No mention how close or far from the goal they are. This info would be helpful." Yeah, I definitely think the one good thing about these organizations is that I'm sure they're collecting the data that we need to tap them to see if we can hear about what's going on with the rise of it. Remember back in the Mine and Soul days, they gave us some stats on the uptick of voters because they felt like it was because everybody here was launching black media, and 95.7 The Boss went to FM. We were 101.3 FM was FM. Black Votes Matter started at that point in time, so they were able to look at what the numbers were at the time and then see if they had increased at all after certain campaigns. But it definitely felt kind of arbitrary. Like, I don't think we got actual numbers. We got like percentages. So it'd be good to find out what's going on there and get some data. Wanda Lewis says also some of the towers have been used as a polling place. I wonder if that's going to happen for this election year.
Yeah, that's definitely been my thought, especially when talking about giving rides and things like that. Of course, they made the tower as a polling place, because there's a lot of elderly people and they're easy access. But is that going to continue? It's a great question.
It is a great question. I remember Preston Love Jr. was one of the ones that was heading that up, really going out to the towers and making sure that people got signed up. So it's going to be very interesting. Like I said, we have Brother Hasani Lee that's about to come on, and he's been fighting with OHA. Is OHA going to let him come into the building and do these things with all these ways they're trying to shut it down? Before we get to that next portion, too, Anthony Rogers Wright says our country is not designed for every voice to be heard. Laugh out loud. That's why it's an electoral college, not popular vote. Very good point to remember. Also, he says that Mr. Love sent a stark warning to the DSCC in Bloomberg News yesterday. Didn't see that. Yeah, if you got a link to
Hmm.
that, let us know. What was the message? What was the stark message? Let us know. Marion Williams says, here in Nebraska, you won't be receiving Trump. She said, we live in a state where there's zero chance anyone but Trump will win. Voting your conscience in Nebraska will not hurt Biden because electoral college, etc. So if you don't want to vote for Biden here in Nebraska, you won't be receiving Trump. Okay, interesting. Tony Johnson said, without numbers, it becomes either talking credit for others' work or blaming others for low numbers.
Okay.
So, she
Oh,
said you won't be reelecting Trump. Got it.
okay. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate that. He also said, Anthony Rush says, never forget the reason for the Electoral College was slavery. Electoral College is something that we haven't talked about in a little while too, but yeah, and they're trying to take away the blue dot. We got so concentrated on that part where they were trying to make it winner takes all in the state, and we kind of left the conversation of the Electoral College and what that is and does and where it came from and what it means. So
Yeah. And kind of remind that's something we are still looking out for. Although by all reports, the door has been closed on that. We've talked to the senators and know that there is a possibility and maybe even an inevitability of a special session, and that might be addressed in this special session. So although the door might be closed, it still might be a window open. So yeah, yeah.
like that.
Yeah. We're still looking at that situation. So yeah,
Somebody go on
there's
crack
definitely
that
some
window.
things. Go ahead.
I was just saying, somebody go on crack that window just in
Man.
case.
And of course, Maine is chimed up on that situation as well. So yeah, we'll look at to see how that plays out as far as the winner takes all and the blue dot and all of that. But yeah, still make sure you go to your polling place this upcoming Tuesday for the primary. Don't let it sneak up on you like, oh, it's Tuesday. Like, yeah. Let's get ready, get prepared. Really quickly because I do know we're preparing for our guests here shortly,
Hmm.
but I do want to dive into some of the voter ID information. I kind of mentioned that we will be diving into that and clarifying some of those things. And that's some information that we should really be aware of, especially if you're planning on going into the polling places. Some of you might be sending in your ballot, but again, you're planning on physically going into the polling place, please be aware of the voter ID law. As I mentioned earlier, this is the first election season where people are voting under the new regime, if you will. Again, a constitutional amendment passed by voters in 2022 set out requirements for voter ID in Nebraska. Secretary of State, there we go, Bob Evnen, said earlier this spring that about 97% of registered voters in Nebraska already have a license, a driver's license or ID, which is required, again, citing information from county election offices. But voters have some other options for IDs that are allowed under state law. So, again, if you do not have a driver's license or state ID, some of the things to look out for, of course, the most common are driver's license or state ID, but you can also use a passport, military ID, tribal ID, IDs issued by local governments in Nebraska, such as schools. So again, if you're maybe a university student and have an ID issued by your university or college, that will be used. Also, IDs issued by public or private colleges and universities in Nebraska. Also, a hospital, assisted living facility, or nursing home record, also known as a face sheet, can be used as well. In regards to the IDs, they can be expired, but most show the voter's name and photo. So, again, if your ID is expired but has your name and photo, that can be used to vote. Again, people who vote in person either early or on the day of the primary, but do not have an acceptable ID with them, can pass a provisional ballot. For the ballot to be counted, though, the voter must go to the county election office by Tuesday following the election to present an ID. So again, if you go on Tuesday and you do not have your ID, maybe you left your wallet at home, forgot your ID somewhere, what have you, you can cast a provisional ballot, but must return the following Tuesday. So that will be the 21st, I believe, with an ID. So again, let's make sure we're on top of this information and having our voices heard and our votes counted. Again, the primary is next Tuesday. It will be open between 6 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, or excuse me, open until 6 p.m. on Tuesday and Thursday, and the office will be open from 9 to 1 on Saturday. Again, for those who are looking to vote in person. So there you go.
There you go. Don't let it sneak up on you. It is
Yeah,
coming up
man.
Tuesday. Can definitely sneak up on you. And even though even if you can show a expired ID, has to have your name in the picture. Just got to make sure my expired ID. I don't look the same. They're like, what's this skin? I don't know about this. Must be your little skinny younger brother. I don't know. I don't
This
know.
ain't you. That
This
ain't
ain't
you,
you. I
man.
don't see mere gray in this beard. So yeah, the picture got to match. Is all I'm saying. But
Yeah,
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 just don't let it sneak up on you. That's the main thing here. Just like this situation right here, man. Kamasi, Washington, coming to town and almost
snuck
snuck
up
up
on
on
you.
me. I bought the tickets and then I forgot that it was happening and it happened to look today. It was like, oh, the show is Sunday, May 12th. Okay. So yeah, man. Even when you're dealing in information, stuff can sneak up on you.
Yeah,
So we
man. You
gotta
forget.
uh, gotta forget that that word of mouth reminder is really part of that whole thing. I'm gonna go ahead and put this link in there,
Yeah, we're
link in the
gonna.
chat here.
That's a link in the chat for anybody who wants to look back at the voter ID requirements and things like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
There you go. Appreciate that very much. Well, I appreciate everybody who is jumping in and commenting on these things. And yes, we definitely need to hold organizations that are out here trying to up the vote, hold them accountable. But ultimately, your vote is you're accountable for your own vote. So
True.
ultimately, whether we got Black Votes Matter out here doing the work or not, everybody kind of needs to make sure that they get in and do what they need to do for themselves and make sure that their family, on the family level, there you go. So I was always thinking when I fell down the stairs at that last show. That was the funniest fall
Okay.
I think I ever seen in my life. She just kind of rolled down laughing as she went and then held the drinks. It was just, I was like, that was the smoothest fall I ever seen in my life.
I had to slow down.
Had to slow down. Yep. Yeah, man. I'm glad we're smiling. I'm glad we're smiling because we need to give this brother some smiles. He's been fighting a hard fight, and we
Yeah.
need to make sure that we come in with some positivity for the brother. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we got brother Hasani Lee in the house. Good morning, brother. How you doing?
Good morning. How you guys doing? Y'all can hear me?
Yes,
We
sir.
can
Loud
hear
and
you loud
clear.
and clear. Right on. Good morning to you,
Good morning to you. How everything been?
Oh
man. We've
man, it's
been
all
we've been
right.
we've been watching you. We've
Yeah.
been. How are you and the family doing over there?
We're doing pretty good, man. I can't complain. I mean, we just doing what we got to do, and every day gets better.
There you
Good.
go. There you go.
Glad,
There you
glad
go.
to hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
Glad to hear that.
From what we've been hearing, again, we have had a few of our audience members come down and support you, and they've been giving us updates and reports from the courtroom, and been hearing that you've been fighting a good fight, getting some not I wouldn't say necessarily remedy because the fight is still going, but
Yeah.
making some progress. I think is a good way to put it. So yeah, I guess can you kind of how things been. I know you had a few court hearings, just kind of hearing from you, what is your characterization of how things have worked out so far?
Well, right now it's going. I think it's fair.
Okay.
I like first of all, I really want to thank the people that have came out. I really thank you guys. They have shown up and really showed great support. The courtroom basically has been packed. When we go into the courtroom, everybody go in as a unit. They listening, they paying attention to everything. When we come out the courtroom, we basically empty the courtroom out. So
Mm,
that's power. The people are showing up. I mean, some people names I don't know, but I know their faces. They done showed up for all the hearings, and it's a good feeling, man. It's a really good feeling, and it's a feeling of empowerment because we got to stand together in situations like this to help each other out. Like we see so many times we see people down and we just watch the show. We just, oh damn, they going through it. But it's
mm,
like these people getting up out of their bed, they spending their money, their gas money, they spending their time away from their family or taking time off from their jobs. I mean, people have actually taken days off work and came out to show support. And it's no better feeling than to have that kind of support from the community and from these people that I just look at it and say, I'm so grateful to you all. I want to make sure I address that directly off the rip. I'm so grateful, and I'm grateful to you guys for giving me the opportunity to speak and to get my voice in the ear of different people that are paying attention. So I'm grateful and I'm very, very thankful.
Man,
Man,
you're
man.
welcome, bro. That's what we're here for. And I
Yeah.
got to say, we can't do what we do if it wasn't for you and your bravery of speaking up in the first place. Because we've been trying to talk to folks for a couple of years now, and a lot of people, for fear of retaliation, wasn't coming forward and being able and speaking. So, your bravery and you know, the bravery of your family is the only reason why we can do what we do. So we appreciate you.
Yeah, yeah.
Thanks a
We actually
lot.
kind of will feel kind of guilty if we, we ask you to come on and ask you to come out and speak your piece, and then we just left you hanging. You know what I mean? Because we see that the retaliation is real, so we don't want to have you stick your neck out, and then we like, oh well, on his own. So big
We
shout out.
did the story. We on to the next thing.
Right,
That's
right, right.
not
Nah,
how
nah,
we
that's
do
not our
things.
style. Yeah. So big
Yeah,
shout out
thank
to
you,
the
man.
chat timers.
Yeah, they've been telling me that you guys been speaking on it and everything, and a lot of folks say, "Hey, I heard your story on the first sky." So I mean, the message is
Mm.
still getting out there. And people are really sticking together. Good morning, Amy, and good morning, Mrs. Snipe, Kamara. I see you guys speaking to me over here. So good morning too. Last time I was in here, the messages were going and I was talking, but I know that I want to like address some of the people that sending out they good mornings to me, asking me how my family doing and everything, because I don't feel that you guys left me down or left me hanging. We've been working. So I mean, as a lot of people got to know us, they know that we're gonna be two places. We're gonna be either here with my father, or we're gonna be at the library in the trenches, and that's
Mm.
basically about it. That's all we do. We just right now it's work time.
Yeah,
There
that's
you
what's
go.
up.
There you go.
We would if your wife can hear us, we want to say hi to her. I know she's the camera person back there, so just want to say hello.
Tell
Appreciate
her,
you.
hey.
Hi.
She
Hey,
said
All right,
hello.
all right.
yeah, appreciate it. Just to catch people up, last time we talked to you, you were letting us know about the conditions and the things that was going on and the fight that was happening. Part of that story was that the police came to the door. She tried to get you thrown out for trespassing. The police came, and even the police said we can't do nothing here. He's allowed to be here. So the next thing that happened was they tried to evict you. And then you went to court, and then what you're talking about now with the folks that showed up for you in court is that court experience for the people that didn't get to go. What happened in that courtroom there? What happened as far as the outcome of that court date?
Okay, from my understanding, with the eviction process through OHA, I don't know about any other landlords because I'm just basically dealing with OHA. So,
Mhm.
from my understanding, that OHA basically wins the majority of their evictions.
Mhm.
So when they came with the eviction with me, they did not know that meant that we was like up on our game with habitability law. It just so happened that that's what we've been basically educating ourselves on for like the last 10 years is habitability law. But we've been basically getting the understanding of the legal process for over 20 years now.
Hmm.
Mm.
So when they came, we already knew that they couldn't do nothing legally because we had all our legal documents and everything to prove that we had a right to be here. So when they did the eviction, they did what is called a constructive eviction, and a constructive service is what it's called. And that's the last thing in the eviction process. That's not the first step that you take in the eviction process. That's the last step you take in the eviction process.
Mm.
Mm.
A constructive service is when the process server or either the constable or the sheriff or whoever is going to serve you to then try to get you served the court summons, and they didn't try for several different times. Like they didn't diligently try to get you served, and that process normally takes the standard to law is it must be done at least 3 weeks out of a month. So the first week that they come to serve me, it has to be the on a Monday or Tuesday. If they come back the next week, they can't not try to serve me on the same day. It have to be a different day because they have to write this information down, and they have to they had to have evidence that they tried to serve me, whether they take pictures, whether they record them trying to do the service, whether they got a body cam on, however they do it, they had to show evidence that they're trying to diligently serve me properly, hand to hand. If they cannot serve me properly within like the 3 attempts, they then get the write a motion and an affidavit to submit to the court to tell the court, hey, I have not been able to serve this person because they have not been there, or they may have moved, or whatever the case may be, but I have not been able to serve them. So then the court is going to set a court date for them to have a hearing. Then that's when they put in for a constructive service at that time, when they put the affidavit and the motion in. The court has to grant that constructive service, and he gives them an order. Once he gives them the order, then they give that order to either the process server, the sheriff department, whoever it is, they're going to get to come out. And then that's when they can leave it in the door to just call a drop and go, basically. They can leave it in the door, take pictures of it, and then mail you out a copy of what they served you in the door. That they call, what it is? Tape and tap is what they call. So once they do that, they mail it out. Now you'd have been properly served through the constructive service thing. And OHA went directly from Friday the 19th, filing the eviction, and then Monday they put it in the door, which is now the constructive service. So that's the first thing we challenged, because the court has no jurisdiction at that time if you're not properly served. So that's what we challenged the court's jurisdiction, to let them know that they did not have jurisdiction over the defendants because we was not properly served. He said, well, you guys showed up. Yes, we're here because if we didn't show up, you would award them the eviction. So it's like a catch-22. You have to be there, and they will challenge you on to say, well, hey, evidently you've been properly served because you're sitting in front of us. I'm only here to address to the court that you don't have jurisdiction and that I wasn't properly served. So he asked the plaintiff, their lawyer, he asked them, he said, I don't see no affidavit or no motion. And he said, I definitely don't see no order. He said, do you have an order? She said, well, no, I don't have an order. It was the constable that served it. He said, no, do you have an order? If you don't have an order or you don't have the paper to serve them today, I'm going to call it. So she had, all of a sudden, she magically pulled out two summons with the date on it to serve us in court that day. So the court judge said that we're going to have to set it for another day because you just served them and they can't have a hearing on the same day that you served them. So that's when they set it for the 7th. And we didn't know that the hearing for the 7th was coming up until the 6th, the day before. So it was like, we looked in the email and it was like, boom, you got a hearing tomorrow at 9 o'clock in the courtroom 20. So we sent out a text message to everybody to try to get everybody that was going to come back out and show support. And the people showed up again. It was amazing. And like they showed up again, they was ready. We had the new, what it is, Nebraska World Herald, the newspaper was there, the press, they was there too, sitting front row. I want to thank them for coming out as they watched our program. Thank you for coming out, Anna and Chris. I mean, it's really good that you guys are keeping up with the story. So the second day that we went up in there, we was already served, but they wanted to have a trial immediately. And I know how they're trying to play. They're trying to play on the word that we're not a tenant on the lease, which is they're misrepresenting the terminology to the court to make the court look at it from one side and not really actually being truthful with the matter. So with us being guests here, us being here for a prolonged time, they actually authorized us to be here. So what they're doing is lying in court. And then we already have a case against them anyway to terminate the lease. So this eviction is not unnecessary. So when the judge called the case and everything, well, after we said our name, we said we have already demanded a jury trial in this matter. And my wife said the same thing. She said we're demanding a jury trial in this matter because you have a right to a jury trial. That's your constitutional right. Everybody got a right to have their case heard before a jury of their peers. So if, with this situation right here, a lot of lawyers that I've talked to from Creighton and different lawyers that was up there, they basically said that they've been putting in for jury trials in relation to the eviction for years, and they basically was just getting shut down, and it was told no. So we just basically demanded, and that let me know that what God got for you, the enemy can't take it away from you, because for us just to basically speak it out our mouth and for them to approve it, it was like God is moving, because the devil can't keep on winning in this situation. And they were surprised. The lawyer was like, no, we need to have a trial today. And he said, we can't have a trial today. He said they just requested a jury trial. And no, well, we need to have it Monday. She tried to take control of the court. He said, no, we're not gonna have a trial on Monday either. He said, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna look on and see what we have and everything because we got to go through the selection for a jury and everything. So we're gonna take a recess after this and we'll call you guys back in. And we came back in there and he went through the rules of the jury trial. He said, since y'all want to play y'all want to play lawyer, we're gonna treat you like a lawyer, and we're
The
gonna
judge
take it
said
down.
that?
Yeah, the judge said since y'all want to play lawyer, we're gonna treat you like a lawyer. We're not gonna. I can't. I'm not your protector in this battle. I'm just basically a person that watching, kind of like watching from the sideline. If you get out of line with anything, if you get out of line with the jury process, I'm gonna pull it. If you get out of line, I see you can't handle handle the process of being like answering the questions and handling the trial. I'm gonna pull it and I'm gonna call it like I'm gonna call it from the bench. At that point, I'm gonna like basically pull my rights from me to call it from the bench. But I don't worry about stuff like that, man. I know how the system is set up. I know that they look at me and anybody that come and represent themselves, they look at us as an outsider because you're basically going against the veil. Even though you have that right to do that to represent yourself, it's basically called pro se. It's a Latin term meaning to represent oneself. So you got a right to go into a court and say, I'm a pro se litigant. They cannot hold that against you. But for us to say that, I don't know if it's due to our race or what, but it's just like it offends them so much. It offends the plaintiff, the OHA attorneys. They are very offended by that terminology. And then it seems like the judges that they're more for the process of a lawyer to lawyer. So when you coming down, you kind of break that process. And then the way we file our paperwork, we don't file our paperwork verbatim as a lawyer will file their paperwork and everything. We basically file our paperwork like a human being will file paperwork. We just tell it like it is, tell the fact, we state the laws, we put the statutes up in there, and we just make it so that it's under like you can read it and understand what's going on. When you read a lot of legal stuff, you can't understand it. You're looking at it like saying, what the hell that is, or what that means, what statute that from. We put our statutes in them and we put our laws in them, but we're more just doing it from a human side of things instead of the lawyer, the talk way of doing things.
Right.
Speaking of legalese, as they call it.
Absolutely,
Yes, sir.
100%. I like that. You hit it on the head.
Oh yeah. I'm loosely familiar with your approach to this, which is interesting to me because it's I'm just kind of watching it play out real time. One of our chat chimers that was at your hearing mentioned that you are using what she called a straw man argument. Is that something is that how you would characterize it, or and you also mentioned that this is something y'all been studying and preparing for the last 20 years. So I kind of want to get into that. Like, how do you even know? Are you a lawyer, or how do you even know this information? How did you gather this to be able to stand on your own?
No, we don't even refer to ourselves as a lawyer. We refer to ourselves as going in and representing the case in our proper persona. Proper persona means you are the living woman and living man. So you have the right as the living woman and living man to the human body of living, being a living man, living woman. It means that you control the land. So it's like we have learned about the straw man. We have learned about the more we watch Morris, people that do it the legal way, that they have the Morris set up and everything. We heard about the statutory law, common law. So out of all the things that we have researched and studied throughout the years, we basically put together our own recipe. We basically we took what works from the Moors, we took what works from the straw man, we took what works from the freedom, what other guy named that? Freedom from the government. So we took the bits and pieces because every case is a different case, and every case is a different challenge. So something can work from what you learn from the Moors dialect and what you learn from the straw man, that you actually can combine both of them together, but you still had to learn statutory law. You had to learn your common law. And then, like, my wife was reading stuff at one time. I mean, this old school stuff, like tradition, but it goes back to, she found some legal stuff that was like 80 years or 90 years old. Like, the stuff is so old that we actually had to look at it through a magnifying glass. And even then, you still can see how the word, you had to kind of like determine what that word was. You get enough of the alphabets in it that you can say, oh, okay, I see what that is. That's this. Then we go look the definition of that up. We cross-reference it with the Moors. We cross-reference it with the freedom of the land. We cross-reference it with the straw man. And all of a sudden, everything that makes sense together, you know that you got something that is uniform. So that's your power. You got to take it from everything. Like I heard one of the guys, I think of Taj Bay, he said that the Allah made a mention, either don't quote me on this, but it was like he heard. I'm just gonna say he got a message that said the way that you have to win in this day and age, you got to learn what the colonizers have put out there, and you got to learn what your people have had from the past, and you got to take both of them worlds and combine them together. That's where you're gonna get your wealth of knowledge from. So throughout the years, we just made a basic our own recipe, and it's been working. We go into court. A lot of times, the judges, they don't want to hear your argument, but if you got your legal information and your knowledge together, and you can present it, then they have to hear it. And once you get through that door, getting that first filing, and you get a court date set, then it's up to you basically then to take what you learn and apply it to the case that you have at hand and everything. So we don't just use one thing, because I think me personally, looking at using one method of fighting is not going to win the fight in the long run, because it's just like boxing. With Evander Holyfield, he can beat you with a jab, or he can beat you with a combination. But his main thing was to jab you to death. He would be willing to fight with jab. But as time went on, these fighters started learning how to counter the jab. They started learning how to do different techniques to get around that, and that became a one-dimensional fighter. And then that's when you start losing in the game. So you got to take everything, take it. Even if you can't use it, you take it. Go to the law library. The books that they have in the law library, they're not going to have in the regular libraries or either online. That's where you get your deepest stuff at and everything. Like since we've been doing the case, we got the tenant law. And I heard that you said something earlier about the voters going to the towers and getting the people to, as a tenant, invite them in. That's that tenant right to invite in a guest. That's something that OAJ or no other landlord can stop, because on the tenant law, they have a protection. If the tenant allows you in, you have the same rights as that tenant. You just don't have greater rights than that tenant. You don't have to get permission from the landlord or from the association before you invite a guest into your home. That's like, what's the benefit of it then? It's not a guest then. It's somebody that got to be approved to come in before they can even come into your home. So if they coming down, they're not selling drugs, and they're not coming down to harass other tenants. Then if a tenant say, hey, I want you guys to come in and tell me about the voter rights. And they can even have a community, like a meeting with the resident presidents at these towers, can say, hey, we're going to have a meeting. We'll call a meeting for, just say, Wednesday night. And we got some people that's going to come out and talk to you. If you want to come down and be part of the meeting there, by all means, you can come in. That's that community lead, the president or whoever, that's their guest. They cannot stop a guest from coming in as long as that person don't let that guest get out of control. And that's why the people need to stop being afraid, like know your rights. And when people step to you and say stuff like, hey, you can't do that, then fact check it. Just go and say, well, let me check this out for myself before I listen to what you tell me. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but I just want to check it out for myself. And that's what we had to do throughout our time of learning about the laws and presenting the laws.
It's very interesting what you describe in there, and I want to come back to that in a minute here. I want to jump in the chat real quick, but you said that you started this process about 20 years ago, so I wanted to know what happened 20 years ago that got you on this path in the first place. But before we get there, Mama God is asking the question, and I'm wondering as well. Since you're talking about the different strategies and different ways to fight, are you open to using an attorney if one is offered to represent you pro bono? Is that a method? Is that something you're gonna put in your bag as well? Is help from another attorney?
Yeah, we're open to. I mean, but like I say, it's different strategies, and you have to basically fight the fight with a team. You're going against a big corporation, and you have to fight a fight with a team. And the legal advisory could be like, we could bring somebody on that's a legal advisor and everything. That we just open to sitting down and talking with them. And if our heads come together and everything, and we see that there's a way that we can win collectively, we'll have no problem with that. I mean, we're not the people that say, hey, I know it all, or you can just go on by your business, because that's why law firms have 100 lawyers in their law firm. So a lot of these lawyers don't even like each other, but some of them, they say, hey, you know what? He's strong in this area. let me go get this guy right here and everything and bring him in. We was talking to some lawyers at the courtroom, and one of the legal aides, he like pulled me to the side because it was like maybe 5. They were saying, "Let him get my card. I can't believe y'all got a jury trial, man. We got to learn what you just did. We need to know what it is. How did you manage to do this?" And I didn't, to be honest with you, man, I didn't know what was going on. I just knew we got to work because where we from, we like you put in for a jury trial, it's not even argued against. It's like you file your paperwork, they know that that's your right to have a jury trial. You just need to know how to present yourself and do the jury selection and everything like that. So when they was coming up there like shaking my hand and telling y'all did a good job and y'all did something, I'm like, what is going on? Like, why they keep on talking about like? Then they said, you don't understand that this is something like they don't give with lawyers and they haven't given us a jury trial. But then the guy said, that lady right there, he said, she's a pit bull. He said, she's very aggressive. He said, for her to be out here, to be talking to you and giving you her information, he said, she don't even take her time for free right now to give you, to be a part of this whole movement and everything, because you done did something that haven't been done in a while. And he said, you would be a fool. He said, I don't even like her. He said, I'm going to tell you, he said, I don't even like her. He said, but she's a pit bull and she's aggressive. And if you don't use her, he said, you would be a fool, brother. He said, and I'm not even just saying him. And I said, I've got her information. And I said, we'll sit down and talk with her and everything. So we open to that. And to go back to your question about 20 years ago, I was like, basically, I used to do music and stuff like that. So my wife, she used to be she was my manager, and like she took care of all the stuff that I did for us, like TV and music, like and stuff like that. So she did all my resumes, and we just would start learning about the business of like with acting and TV and everything like that. So she just like she said picked up. I think it was the first thing it was about the birth certificate. And at that time, everybody was talking about you can do this with the birth certificate, and the birth certificate's a bond, and you can get money off of it, and people were going to jail behind it. And she said, I'm gonna just check into this birth certificate stuff and just see what kind of going on with it and everything. She said, I'm not gonna use it because I'm not gonna go to jail, but I just want to see what they're talking about the birth certificate. And she just started educating herself on that. Like I used to come home on some days I'd be on the set, and I come home and she sitting there with the legal book. Like I'm like, where you get that book from? She said, I ordered it. I got it off a web like an order site. Got it for like 50 cents. A whole legal book, like these old books that they just used to get away from, throw away, didn't want them no more. People wouldn't even read them because they went to another edition, like the Black Law, first edition, second edition, third edition. You probably can get them books very cheap if you find people that just don't want the book no more because they got like a new collection or something. And she had jumped onto that. So like maybe 5 years had passed by and she was still doing it. She hadn't went beyond the whole birth certificate thing. She was like saying, baby, look at this right here. This right here can go in with contracts. This right here can go in with like your publishing and everything. And she's like, I just sit down and I started looking at them, looking over the laws and said, damn, that's powerful right there. I said, that makes a lot of sense. And one day she just told me straight up, she said, you're going to need to learn this because you don't know what we headed in the future. You don't know what we're going to go up against. And the best thing for us to do is to have this wisdom and this knowledge. She said, you're going to have to learn this. She said, I know how you think outside the box. I know you write music. I know how you make beats and everything. You would get this and you would be able to turn it on its head. And she believed it from like with everything. She just believed that was something that she knew that I would be good at and that I would be able to turn it and make it useful for me. And we just started doing it together. And then next thing you know, we just started having like situations that come up. Like we did a protest for a grocery store out in California that they were selling molded food and molded beverages out of the cooler and everything. And my wife bought one of the drinks and she got sensitive skin, but we didn't know that it was we thought that the cooler, basically a drink had to burst in it, like a Coca-Cola or something had to burst in and they just didn't clean it out. Come to find out, she broke out with a rash. So we went back up there again and did a closer inspection and the cooler was filthy. It was nasty. So I said, man, people buying this stuff out of here. They got children up in here buying these drinks and everything. And we started protesting and we did a silent, peaceful protest. We knew our rights. We knew what the law was to protect. Instead of the police coming out there to tell us to leave, we knew to use the police, use them as an adversary. Use them and make them part of the fight. Don't make them feel like you're doing something and they're not welcome in it, because it's their job to protect you and your rights. They take an oath to uphold the Constitution.
Mm.
So we was protesting for the store, and they was doing the same thing OJ doing. They were just bringing trying to demean us, trying to put us down, trying to make the customers think that we was doing something illegal. But the posters that we had up had the information on it that was directly to the law. I said, go read this law. You'll see what they're doing wrong in this situation. So we protested out there, peacefully protested, just me and my wife. Didn't call nobody else out there to help us. About week one, they laughed at us. The people was turning their head away from us, didn't want to be a part of it. And these are Mexican and Black African American people that's getting sick from buying stuff at the store. By week two, people started coming out with confessions. Hey man, I bought something out there last week. I got sick. Hey, what that number is on there? Hey, what that statute mean right there? By week three, we had people coming down the road, blowing at us, waving at us. People stopping. Hey man, here go lunch on me today. We were like, no, we're not taking no donation. I don't care. Lunch on me today. Here you go. Give us $20. By week five, it was on. I mean, we had that block, the whole block locked down. Traffic, people coming by there, stopping in the road, coming over there, shaking our hand, recording the sign. Starbucks were getting more customers coming in through the drive-through just so they can come through there to take pictures of the sign and to shake our hand. The mayor came out. It's like it just started blowing up, but it's like staying with the fight. Peaceful mean peaceful, but you can give people information at the same time you're being peaceful. So the store, actually, we didn't even know it. The store had barred us out of the store, and we was fine with them barring us out of the store. The same thing. These are same steps that OJ is taking with barring people that want to help and advocate, barring them out of the building where and violating the tenant's right. So the people was getting the information. That's all I cared about, and we was out there every day. I mean, unless it rained, we was out there, and we built up a audience that was looking for us to come out there. And we had people that was trying to be disrespectful, walking through the protests, and people coming out there wanting to trying to be rowdy. But we knew we had an adversary with the cops. We'll call them, and you can see, the Dukes of Hazzard when they used to take off, the dust be flying behind the car. That's how the police would come down the road. I mean, dust coming up behind the car, everything. They get out there, escort them out of the protest. They say, you want to press charges? Charges, just don't want them to interfere with us, because this is not about hurting anybody. It's about getting a resolution for this store. Unbeknownst to us, the store had did a full renovation in there. The second month that we was out there, they had did a full renovation, put new coolers in there, put new floors down, took the old coolers out there, and 5 other stores in the neighborhood, just from our protesting, had to change their refrigeration out and had put new drinks to new drink coolers up in that store. So they was like that protesting and doing it for the right thing is power in it. And I know that right now we're protesting for the right thing.
Bro, I'm gonna go back and watch this show several times, listening to these stories. It's incredible. I wanna acknowledge Mrs. Lee, for real. This is real partnership that you talking about. You talking about real partnership. Me and Buddy are a couple musicians too, and to think about somebody having our back like that, that's like looking up the laws, reading things, bringing stuff out that we know that we need in order to do that. We talking about some real partnership.
Man,
And I think let me see, Von Chapman in the chat said a great example of a black man and black woman can work together to address an issue is absolutely outstanding. And that's what's standing out to me right now too. We in our generations do a whole lot of things by ourselves, but to hear about the stuff that you guys are doing and have been doing over the past 20 years, and just gaining knowledge together and making change happen and boost to the roots, and everything that's been going down from then till now is super inspiring. Super inspiring.
Thanks.
So I just want to give a shout out to you and your wife for that in a big way. First of all,
Yeah, thank you, man.
Mama God is in the chat asking thoughts. Go ahead.
I was seeing the chat too. Somebody said, Deanna said, thoughts about the Channel 6 story about clean areas and no problem. I'm glad that you asked that, Deanna. Can I address that question?
Yeah, that's exactly what I was. Yep, same thing I was going to say. Go ahead.
So what they did is they went down to the community room. The bathrooms that you see in there is the community room bathroom. They hired a professional cleaning service to come out, and they had them cleaning one room particular for like 8 hours, and they had them to do a professional cleaning job in the community room. The stove and the refrigerator is from the community room. The pool table, The pool table is missing the ball that you seen the balls that was on the table. It was missing the ball out of the rack pool ball, and those computers do not work. There's no
I
internet
knew
on
it.
the
I knew
computers. No,
Hey, we were saying it, bro. The other day we were saying, I said, look, they missing the 8 ball, and then Buddy said, I bet your computer's gonna work.
absolutely. The computers do
Oh.
not work. They have not worked. They got one TV down now that everybody watch that one TV. They got two other TVs stacked in the corner to the side. The inspection that they came out to do with the 10-unit inspection they did back in November. I was a part of that inspection. And 10 people, there 10 units that was in that inspection, they have not, nothing has changed. Even in this unit, nothing has changed. They haven't fixed anything. They didn't take them to a unit that had a person in them and say, hey, how you doing today? Can we look in your unit? You're one of our better tenants and everything. We want to show everybody that we don't have this problem throughout the building. They made a statement to say, when you're moving in, this is how your unit will look when you move in. Well, I'm pretty sure it do. Nobody's not going to move into a dirty apartment with bed bugs and rats and roaches. But I can guarantee you, by the time they get their furniture set up, they will see a mice. If they don't see a mice, they're going to see a bed bug or they're going to see a roach, because that's just what this building has in it. It's not something that I would want to have, like, just put out a negative narrative, but it's the truth. It's what's going on. They are good at being wrong. They are very good at it. And when they can show people the pictures like her saying, oh, we just worried about doing professional affordable housing, and I'm just a landlord trying to do affordable housing. Why haven't you said I'm a landlord that worried about the people? I'm concerned about these people here. This is what we did to help this person out. This is what we did to bring light to this situation. We heard this story right here. We saw the guy that was hollering for help in the unit. They were saying, hey, I need help, man, and everything. Now, I don't know this verbatim, but I'm just going to say allegedly, they went to his unit and refused to even go in the unit because of the conditions of the guy's unit. I don't know that verbatim. That's just something that I heard. But from other tenants that they have actually went to do this whole week, that's what we're doing inspections now. They're not even being in these units 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. If 5 minutes, I'm just saying, I've seen this with my own eyes. They go to the unit. Hey, how you doing? They don't have nobody from the health department with them. Don't have nobody from code enforcement with them. It's just only OHA staff. They going up in the unit, and they basically just asking the people, do you have any work orders? From what I've heard, and the people that had their units, they came there for this so-called inspection. They just asked them, have you had your unit? Do you got any work orders or something like that? And I don't know what the tenants are telling them about the work order situation, or what if they tell them anything at all. But I know some of the people that have not had anything fixed, they said, I thought they was going to come in and do a thorough inspection. They didn't do a thorough inspection. They basically came in and asked a few questions. Do you have a work order or what's going on? And that's basically the end of the inspection. Now, you cannot discriminate against what they're doing to you legally. They started on the 6th floor where my dad is at. This is my dad, on the 6th floor. They completely walked directly by this door. They did not come here at all. They did the 6th floor, they did the 5th floor, and then they went downstairs to the office and everything, and they left for the rest of the day. They did not say anything to us about the issues that was up in here until the Channel 6 story broke that day from Chapman. And I was showing them the code enforcement report to say all the violations that were going on in this unit. And they looked at the report and they said, man, that's a lot of issues there and everything. Like 2 pages of violation, property violation. These property violations has been going on in this unit from October until now. And the code enforcement, they put property violations against them, and they're telling the news and everybody that would listen to them that these issues are taken care of. And the reason why they get away with it, because people don't come and say that's a lie. I'm not going to be quiet about it. I don't have to sit out there and boast about it. I don't have to shout to the hilltop and everything, because of people like you guys come and say, hey, man, we want you on the show. At the same time that this stuff is going on, y'all invite me to the show, and it's a time to say this stuff that they're doing is just a smoke screen. It's only to get the senators or whoever around to back off of them, but ain't nobody coming out to fact check them. It doesn't make any sense if you're not going to fact check them. They can tell you, hey, we're going to do this, and we're doing this in this procedure, somebody need to say, well, we're going to go out there and fact check you. We're going to come out there to see, have you done what you said you was going to do? Are you working with an outside contractor? Are you getting the health department to go in to assess the health issues and everything, dealing with the mold and dealing with the unsanitary conditions in these units and everything? They're not doing that. And that haven't taken place. And I know it haven't taken place in this unit.
I tell you what, man, it's interesting. I think about what you're saying. Everybody who is listening to us needs to write a letter to WOWT about that situation, because that was crazy. During the last show, Kimra Snipes wrote Brother Chapman on the why did you guys do the story like this? He said they had to be fair to OHA because the day before they did a story that showed some of the conditions and so on and so forth. But it's interesting. We hadn't seen that one day before. We saw that one that they went in there shooting the common areas and all that. And it's funny because we were looking at this video. We could tell that there was some bad reporting going on.
Man.
Just when we think about, like, First Guy Omaha was here because we were reading stuff out Omaha World Herald, and we're talking about it because we got to read between the lines with stuff, and we read between the lines on that video. We could see from that video that they weren't shooting nobody's apartments.
Yeah,
they obviously had somebody come in there and cleaning stuff. But Buddy called it on them computers sitting up there not working.
Yeah,
we can tell by the age and the model of the computer that they weren't working.
Right. They weren't even on. Like,
right. So if people really want to pay attention, they're not going to get fooled by these news articles and these things that are coming out. If they are paying attention and being honest. A lot of people, though, are getting fooled by that stuff, and I think that people need to be writing WWT about that. I couldn't wait to get you on here to talk about that video, because you confirmed everything we were saying. Like, it's amazing. And furthermore, the narrative to me was they in the beginning of that video, they took somebody into somebody's apartment that was messed up, and they were trying to paint it like these people aren't keeping aren't taking care of their own units. That's what the problem is.
Yeah, that's why they try to dress it up that way. You're absolutely right. I was just like, man, my goodness. It's like when you see stuff like that, it makes you, it kind of put you in two state of mind with me, and put me in a state of mind of saying we failed, because why would they show a story like that if the like, I understand you got to give you got to give them an opportunity, but don't go and put together a show that's gonna support their wrongness or their violations. You're putting together a show to protect this company at this time. So all the work that we put in, yes, we got elderly people out here. Yeah, we got handicapped people out here. But if these people are handicapped and they cannot walk and they got health problems like that, you said that you only are giving affordable housing. Why take tenants in like that? You should. They can go to assisted livings. They have different places they can go in. You allow these tenants to come here, and it's in your lease agreement that if a tenant has a disability or a problem, that you guys are supposed to assist that person either with your maintenance team or with management. It's in your lease agreement. I know they lease better than they know it. I've studied this lease. I've been through this lease several times in the last 7 months. I'm reading off stuff in they lease probably verbatim now. That's the reason why I know they got a thing in they lease to say a tenant can have a guest for up to 14 days. So how you gonna say a tenant can have a guest for up to 14 days, then you come and bar them from having guests to come in? You can't do that. That's violating of the tenant right. And if they older and then they elderly and disabled, it's violating their ADA, the American Disability Act, because they have a right to have a reasonable accommodation, and they have the right to have guests to come in and not be discriminated against because of their disability. But you put so much of work into trying to, and it's not about exposing them for the wrong reasons. Let me make that clear. I'm not on a mission to expose OHA for the wrong reasons. I'm not on a mission of anything. I am trying to get my father in a better situation that he had to live in these conditions, and to help the people out that are going through the same thing that he's going through. And if this building has more people in here that are in that situation, so be it. It's the truth. It's what it is. But everybody in this building is not disabled. Everybody in this building is not handicapped and have mental problems. You have very old people here, elderly people here that are in good shape, that have good memory, that are walking around, barbecuing outside, playing their blues music, dancing, playing dominoes, playing chess. You have people here that are actively functioning in society, and they living in mold with bed bugs, mice, and all kind of habitability violations. That doesn't mean that the ones you saw in the video sitting in the head in the wheelchair, they gonna take that and they spent it on his head to show that Michael Coleman, to show him in the wheelchair, as when she's saying, yeah, these people are there and they can't take care of themselves, and basically it's hard to try to get somebody to clean up behind themselves when they are grown and they are disabled people. That was the wrong clip to put together when she's saying that, because it make it look like the people that there can't clean for themselves. It's a lot of dirty people that stand there, and it's
It
not.
was on purpose.
That was
It
on
was
purpose.
Yeah.
that was the biggest spin job, non-journalist situation I ever seen up close and personal that way in my memory.
I agree with you.
Every aspect of that video, every aspect of that news piece was propaganda for that building, and it was obvious. And the fact that they had did a story the day before that talked about some of the issues and the problems, and then the brother, as the journalist, did not acknowledge that in the second piece. In this piece, that is
Absolutely.
it made it full propaganda of OHA, a full propaganda piece.
Yeah. Yeah.
And furthermore,
You're
the
absolutely
fact that he
right.
was forced to do that.
Say again.
And
I was just saying the fact that he was forced to do that. Like, he came and spoke to Michael Coleman. He spoke to Mr. Lee. He gave their side, and then the WOWT, as we have learned, forced the journalist to do the propaganda piece. So talk about how far the corruption.
If
yeah,
you
it's like if they can use the media to their power, then we don't have a fighting chance, because you can't have media back away from the story. You got to have media that, and trust me, I know that these are these people professional careers, and they cannot lose their career behind the Underwood Tower story. I understand that, but don't get involved in it. If you're not gonna be one of the people that say, you know what, it's all or nothing. If I lose it, I lose it. But it's all or nothing because I chose to take this story on, not because I felt that it was a good story that was running at the time, and I felt that I can get a little boost on my job level to report this story, and then go on to the next thing. It's about sticking with it, stand there and showing these people that when one story come out to try to protect them, I'm gonna put my story out to expose them, and it's just how it had to be. This is war is war. I don't care what it is. You got neighborhood wars. You got grocery store wars. You think that Albertson ain't in war with Walmart? You think that Family Dollars ain't in war with Dollar General? War is war. It's the best man win. But at the same time, don't come and help them to continue to be in violation against the people. You're helping them to be negligent. You come out here and show a community room, and you show computers that don't work. And you said they even got a media system here. Man, that computer have not worked. If that computer worked, I wouldn't be going to the library every day to do my legal work. If that computer worked, the people would be able to damn put work order in downstairs and don't have to worry about trying to figure out how to put them in on their phone.
man,
We have a neighbor that just moved out, a Korean age lady. She was real nice, and she just moved out. And the time that she was here, she said, I don't have no bed bugs. But she never told her what her problem was. She just said, I don't have bed bugs, I don't have mold. Man, I promise you, when she moved out, she said, come in my apartment. She said, I want you to come to my apartment. She said, I know what you're doing about the story and everything, and I respect you, and I'm so glad that you're doing this. She said, this is my apartment. I'm not even exaggerating. The floors were filled with rat poop. From the door throughout the unit was filled with rat poop. Dead mice in the floor that they had to sweep from up under the heater. Nests up under the heater. I thought it was a bird nest. I'm not even joking. The nest was up under the heater, looked like a bird nest that the rats hadn't built up under the heater. The floor was like walking on dry rice. Rat poop everywhere. They had to ate the baseboards all the way from up under her. The baseboards going around the wall were eating up. Then ate through the material, ate through the drywall. The bedroom she showed me was filled with rat poop all down in the corners. The baseboard pulling from the wall. The in the bathroom closet, rat poop on every shelf, rat poop everywhere. She said they had got in my bed and they had to put nest in my bed. She said, I can't take it no more. And we used to always smell this smell that was coming out of her unit. And we thought it was just like Korean food, because they cook food like octopus and different kind of fish and stuff like that. So it's like, I'm thinking that's her compost. It was the rat poop. It was the damn, that's how infested her unit was with the mice, that it was just like, I never seen anything like that. And she done moved out, and the mice that's in her unit, they started coming to my dad's unit. So roaches and stuff coming from that's in her unit is coming to my dad's unit. And the maintenance guy went up in yesterday. It was yesterday, or the day before yesterday. He went up in there the day before yesterday. The maintenance guy went up in there, and my wife looked through the peephole. She said, "Oh, they better start cleaning the unit out." So she looked through the peephole. He went in there, man, and like 30 seconds later, he hauled ass getting about that room. I mean, the rats was running up in there. He had to go downstairs and get the pest control guy to come up here. I said, y'all need to do something. You need to put some of them on that door, because the mice are coming out of there and they coming out to my father's unit. And we'd have been down breaking our neck to deal with the bed bug situation and the mice that's over here. To now, we got new mice coming up in here from her unit. And the lady next door said, I've been seeing the mice running down the hallway. So see, the news don't get that. The news don't get that story. The news don't think that those kind of situations going, because they came here and they walked them down the hallway when the cleaning crew had just them down. They came down and they did the sweeper thing. They got this great sweeper machine that they go out through the hallway with. So the news, all this stuff had to be timely prepared for them with OHA to come in. The hallways was clean. You didn't show nobody unit though. The hallways were clean. Oh, they even got a media center downstairs with computers that ain't working, a pool table that's off balance, missing a pool ball, one TV in the lounge room, and then on top of that, they had tenants that were keeping their food in the refrigerator in the community room, because the refrigerator in their unit was not even working. It's like it's so much of stuff that's going on here that the public don't know about, that the senators don't know about, that the community, that like the people that are running and said they for the people. And they just said, well, we talked with OHA and we spoke with Joni, and she said that she's doing this, but she's not doing it. As she was doing it, I would see her as a man and say, yep, you know what? They have changed things around. Things are looking good. It's not. It's not going that way. It's only being done to get the story to go away and to get the people to shut the H up. That's what it's all about. Mr. Lee need to shut the hell up, because we try to get his ass out there, and y'all have. You're going to continue to fail, because I'm not a dumb man, and my wife is not a dumb lady, and we stand together, and we're going to fight together, and we're going to help these people out the way we need to help them out from a legal point, because these people don't know how to defend themselves here. A lot of them are afraid. We did a protest with Sherman Wells for Florence Tower, I think it was Florence Tower, and we out there protesting, and we out there having a rally for them. And there's not one tenant come out of that building to come over there to say, hey, man, thank y'all for what y'all doing. Now, that is jail. That's a level of being confined. You're locked up, and you're locked up in your mind. You're locked up in your spirit, and you don't have that desire to get out. You're free. This is a world that we live in, that you have rights. You can't live and pay rent to somebody and be afraid of them at the same time you pay rent, and then you don't want to discuss the issues that are going on. This is a real war, and it's a war on the people. And this is my analogy of things. I'm just going to say allegedly just to be protected, but this is my analogy of things from what I see with this whole thing going on. And you got to catch this right here, because this is a deep move. OHA have these people that are mentally challenged, or either the ones that coming from drug rehabilitation or some kind of mental program or something like that, and they're not really there. So they put them on the lowest rent thing that they have, like I think disaster rent or whatever terminology they use to put them on the lowest rent that they can put them on. They have to know that at some point these people are going to relapse, or either they're not going to be able to pay their rent. Once they get to the point that they can't pay their rent, they hit them with a constructive eviction, which is illegal, which is the last step in the eviction process, because they know that this constructive eviction gets them back their property quicker. So when they put this constructive eviction on, these people go in there, the lawyers at Creighton or whoever built them for the match thing, they're gonna only discuss the eviction process. A lot of these people don't know their eviction rights. So they go through the eviction process. They tell them you're gonna have to move if you can't pay these people. You're gonna have to move out there. And with the lawyer and the legal aid, it's job done with them. But the process keeps going with OHA because those same people that they put out and make homeless, those people end up going to homeless camps. They go to the damn the vacant parking lots and something like that and everything, and they set up housing and everything, put their tents out there and everything. OHJ got to have somebody that is going out and scoping these sites where these homeless people at, because the grant money that they just got a couple of weeks ago, it was because they wanted to go out and help the homeless people. You're making the people homeless. And you're going out to say you're getting grant money to help the same people that you made homeless, when you're not even down trying to take care of the people that's up in the towers before they get homeless. They can transfer these people. They can get them a reasonable accommodation. They can get them more time to pay their rent and set up some kind, because they know that they just came from either drug problem or either a mental problem. And if they pay the lowest amount of rent, they don't have the money, because a lot of them food stamps ain't even that much for to get food, from what I'm understanding. So they create the homeless problem. They go out and scope the homeless sites where the people is camped there and everything. They go and get the grant money to buy that spot, or either to get that grant money because they said they have love and compassion for the homeless. You made them homeless. You put the majority of them there. So why didn't you do something to help them while they was in the building? Why didn't you do something to help them before they got to that point? But then you go and get the grant money, and then they give them the grant money because people don't show up to object against the grant. So if nobody don't show up in the community, there's no harm, no foul. Evidently, the community is for this. And that's the same way it is with this. The people not putting in the complaints with the health department, with code enforcement, and with housing, they're not calling them in, and they're not telling them to come out and assess the problem. So on paper, OHJ just look like they got a disgruntled tenant son that is upset and want to file lawsuits against them because it's a money play. That's their whole defense. This guy is just trying to make a money play. He's just upset. He's just one person. Why are not everybody else doing these things? Why have nobody else come forward with it and everything? But these people that are out there in the homeless camp, when you read articles like Flatwater Press, who went out there and interviewed one of these people, the man said, I just want my place back. I would pay him $35. I'll be researching, dog. He said,
man, we got the article teed up. This man on top.
hey, you're hired. You're the new first guy on
Man,
you don't miss a beat, bro. You don't miss a beat.
Just keep going. Keep going. You got it.
So when this guy is begging for his place back, and he had to go and live beside a store at the time that a storm, when it was cold. We didn't have no heat in here at that time, and we was inside and it was cold. Just imagine this man who came from a drug rehabilitation a couple of months ago, living, and then he got evicted for not paying for a key card. He got evicted for something that ain't even had to do with rent, related to rent. So now you got an illegally evicted person out here that went through the legal process of being with a constructive service. And amen. Right now, you're absolutely right. There go the picture right there. And this guy's just saying, I just want my home back. I don't want to be out here. If I had a chance and I had the money, I would pay for this and everything. I would pay that money to get back, but I just don't have it. And OHJ is saying they go to the committee and then they put in for a grant, and the grant get approved. So now they got all this money that just got approved with the grants, and these people are still homeless. These people are not, they haven't got taken to no. They were advised them to go to a fallout shelter or to go back through. They basically put them back right back in the process that they came from, being homeless, going to the shelter, waiting for something to open up, trying to get a caseworker. That's your life going away. You're losing time out of your life when you're going through that process again. And they are the catalyst behind that whole process that people are losing that time. They lost their home. And thanks to Senator McKinley, them investigated, finding out that a lot of these evictions that was not even their rent related. They was because people didn't pay for a keypad. People they probably broke a window out of the unit and didn't pay for the broken window, and they evicted them on that behalf. But now that I'm seeing what happened to me, they're serving them with constructive evictions, and there is constructive service and not proper service. They cannot drop and leave it. They had to go through steps. It takes probably about a month for them to go through the proper steps to do a constructive service. And when they do that, they immediately get you into court. And then before they pass the bill, they had the people pay the legal fees of up to $350. So you lose your place. You got they say you behind on, but you get evicted for something that ain't rent related. Just say it's a key fab, something for $35 or something. They evict them for that. Then they down hit them with the legal fees. That is $350 legal fees when the people didn't even have $35 to pay the rent. Now they got an eviction on them. They got that's go to their credit. It's gonna be hard for them to down move somewhere else because that eviction is gonna play a part of them with getting into another place. Because you know what they're gonna say? OAJ, bigger than OAJ is a big ass organization, so they word holds weight, as what I can see. And they say, well, OAJ got it down in the record that you didn't pay your rent and you was only paying $35 a month. So how you gonna come here and pay $60 a month? So that person lose that opportunity. They got to go back to the street, go back to the homeless encampment. Oh, look at here comes OAJ. But and they got the code enforcement OAJ housing inspectors. I haven't seen these people that for OAJ housing inspector. They got 6 cars parked out here. I haven't seen none of them in here. You parking the housing inspector cars at this building, and that one housing inspector that came in the building to do any housing inspection. So my theory, allegedly, this is just my theory, they're driving around to find out where the homeless camps are. Then here come OHA. Oh, that's a homeless camp. Oh, this was a homeless camp. Okay, then let's get the senators or whoever legislation to pass to grant us a bill to give us some more grant money so that we can say that we're going out to help these homeless people. But you made them homeless. These people are homeless out there because they probably came from one of your towers or from one of your establishments because you done put a constructive eviction on them or an illegal eviction on them, and they don't have nowhere else to go. The shelters are full, and now they out there living in these homeless encampments that you're scoping out and finding where they're at. Because how would you know how the homeless population is if you ain't finding out, if you ain't got somebody to scope out the spot? How you gonna put a bill together or ask for a grant money if you ain't already got all your details and your facts together? But who's going to go up in there to say, hey, they're lying? I'm homeless because they put me there. I don't have nowhere to go because I'm in that encampment because OAJ put me out because I didn't pay for a keypad. They're not going to come in. And a lot of times the public don't even know that these kind of hearings are happening to the last minute or after they done happen. And they show it on the news. Yeah, on social media. Yeah, OAJ just got another grant. But because they got a project going to say, we love the homeless. I couldn't believe that when I heard that. And I watched it. I said, look at it. It's nobody in the damn courtroom. It's nobody in there to contest it. If somebody was up in there to say, I'll fix that, they would not get that money. But with them knowing that the man, y'all just, I don't want to say too much on here, but I done looked at this thing at every angle. And I looked at this in the deepest ways you can look at it. And there's some major stuff going on, buddy. And I don't want to just pull too many coattails about the situations and everything, but it's a lot of stuff going on. That's why you're not getting a lot of answers from people. That's why people are backpedaling out the way and everything. I'm not calling no name, and this is just me allegedly saying this. This is my theory. It's what I've thought about and what I've put together through my investigation. But it's some people getting their pockets tipped, and it's some people bagging back out the way because they're afraid of that monster. They ain't getting nothing out of the process, but they don't want to cross that motherfucking board. They looking at it like saying, it's dangerous. And I know that it's dangerous. And this guy, I hope there's a lot of people that around this situation that's in high places that praying for me, saying, I hope this guy don't get hurt. I hope this guy don't get killed because he's exposed to some more things that he think that he's exposed to. He's hitting them where it hurt. And when you start hitting them where it hurt and everything, you start playing with people's money. You know, a person will kill you over $5. So it's like you messing with millions of dollars, they'll send a hitman out on your ass in a minute, and that's just me being real. Don't think that we just sit up here eating donuts and thinking that it's all hunky-dory. This is real life that we're in. And you got government people that they came up missing, or they body them been found in water just because they done made a news story or a press release about somebody that they shouldn't have over their mouth about. So that's why I just say the whole engine, because I'm looking at things outside the box, and it's no way that this kind of stuff is going on, but it's going on.
We running out of time, bro. We appreciate. Again, we're gonna have you back because there's just too much to talk about on this. And we will definitely do that. It's 8:49 right now. If you believe in the concept of time, if you don't know what's going on here, we're talking to Brother Hasani Lee again. who is breaking down situations that's going not just with OHA, but we feeling like it's even going above that. You know, there's a lot of stuff going on here, and the biggest thing is if you have family members and people that are in OHA housing that have been scared to speak up, you know, encourage them to do that. As you can see, there's a movement going on here. Our brother Hasani Lee is leading that movement of trying to first of all help his father in the situation, and second of all help other people in these buildings that also need the same kind of help because of the conditions of these facilities that they're just neglecting. So we definitely will do that. Before we get out of here, I understand you got a new Facebook page up and some resources there. Is there, you know, we always want to get down to how can we help? What can we do? Do you have a GoFundMe set up? What's going on with your correspondence here?
Well, the Facebook page is not. It's basically I haven't set the page up. I'll basically just get all the details on the page, but I haven't set the page up and everything. And I definitely
Okay.
decided not to go in the route for the GoFundMe because I've heard it's not really a good like. It's not gonna be good for you. Plus, like they take a percentage of your money and everything like that. So I
Mm.
do have a cash up that we set up and everything, and I can put the cash app information in on the private chat with you guys, or I can just give it to you
Hmm.
now. For
Yeah, go
and you
ahead.
got my email address and everything. So my cash app is the money sign, and it is capital M, lowercase r, and the word AND, capital M, lowercase s, capital P, lowercase r, lowercase o, capital S, and lowercase e. So it's $ Mr. and Mrs. Proceed.
Mm.
Got it. So we
Mm.
drop that in there. Always understand that this is a fight, and the fight needs to be financed, needs to be helped. His brother has relocated to our area with him and his wife, and they're in working, you know, full time on trying to get these situations changed. So please help them out if you can. While I'm mentioning it, there was another uh, message here in the chat. Gideon Mtavi. I'm not really sure who that is, and this is not normal for somebody to come into the chat with dropping their cash app and asking for some help. We should, of course, don't want to turn help away. Wanda Lewis in the chat saying try 211 for available food pantries on the list for today, and some has diapers also. Since we haven't vetted who this is, I highly suggest you don't just send money. It'd be better to get him to ask this person and to maybe talk to this person and see if this person actually needs some help. But here, right now, what we're doing is talking to Brother Hasani Lee. His cash app is Mr. and Mrs. Proceed, and you got it right there in the chat. Take that and maybe help them out on that. Let us know when your Facebook page is up and everything is up, and we'll keep on trying to spread the word around here. And also next steps. What's
Yep.
coming
No
up
problem.
next? What court is there any court dates coming up that we need to come down, and what's happening?
Yeah, we got a reconsideration hearing next week on the 16th, May 16th. We got a hearing for reconsideration on what we just challenged the lawyer to put their credentials up. Like she always been challenging us to say that we're trying to imitate or impersonate lawyers, but we're never trying to imitate or impersonate lawyers and everything. That's our right to be in proceed. So they legally have to show their credentials to show that they're not imposters of the court. You can go through a whole case with a lawyer that ain't even licensed, and that's illegal for them to do that. So we're checking to make sure she's right. So
Mm.
we doing a reconsideration hearing on the 16th, and our trial is set for the 20th. So I don't right now haven't heard anything from the court with the jury selection or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure we'll be doing jury selection probably this week. And the trial is supposed to start on May the 20th at 9 a.m. in courtroom 22. The hearing for reconsideration is going to be on the 16th in courtroom 20 at 9 a.m.
Okay. If you put that information down, we'll definitely put it on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and again, spread that around, and we'll get as many people as many of the chat chimers that can come out and help. I know I asked you this before. You were here last time too. Have you been in touch with Dave Pontos? You know that name yet?
No, I haven't met Dave yet. Dave. I haven't.
Okay.
Wait a minute. I probably who is what is he and what did he do?
So he's a lawyer that's been helping people with rental with landlord situations pro bono for the past couple of years. We've known him when he was running for office. I just saw him driving down the street the other day, and somebody else in the chat asked about him too. Have you? And I know that he's been pretty active. So we'll try to put you in touch with him as well and see if that'll
Okay.
help. Mhm.
Do he have a number, like a contact information?
I don't have it right offhand, but I'll try to dig it up and get a hold of him and have him
Yeah, just
contact
get
you.
him my information. Get
I
him my
will.
information, and that'll work and everything. So he can get in touch with me. And like I said, we're open to anybody that want to come in and be a part of the fight. We're not. This is something that's gonna take a team effort, and it's gonna take a lot of people to listen and pay attention. I'm glad, man, y'all be on it. And Buddy, you pulled that right out there. They pulled the rabbit out of the hat because their computer wasn't even on in the shot, and it's gonna take people that paying attention
I
like
knew
that
it.
to say,
I
yeah,
knew it.
I got you. I see the trick that's being played right here and everything, and it's gonna take the radio shows like yours and just people like Sherman Wells and that people that are speaking out about the situation and say, hey, look, this right here was a smoke screen, and people like me saying the whole inspection thing that they're doing from the people that I've talked with and researched with, they're saying that there's an inspection is maybe 30 seconds to maybe 3 minutes long, and they're basically just coming to the door like saying, what is your work order issues that you have or something like that. They're not going in and trying to locate the issues. They're not trying to go in and locate issues and property violations and say, hey, this right here don't need to be like this. Hey, this right here need to be clean. This need to be taken care of. They're not doing that. They're just basically saying, hey, we're coming to do an inspection. What's your problem that you have? And a lot of people gonna say, I don't have anything. Even if they got them, they're just gonna say, nope, I don't have anything because they don't want people to come into the units because of the way it may look, or they might not want people to come in there because they might have a drug habit or addiction or something. I don't know what it is, but I just know that they're not doing their part as doing a thorough inspection and really doing what they want to do. And Paul Philman is somebody else who's been advocating really, really hard for these people out here, talking with them, getting information about them. So I just thank everybody that Paul, Sherman, Sia, Kamara, like the people that have been coming up to the courthouse and everything. I call the other guy Rail because I'm not really good with names like that, but I call him Rail. I know he's a minister, and he's been there. I mean, he's been there front row, like and watching the show and watching what's going on and everything. So everybody that came out, thank you guys for your show. Thanks for bringing me on the show. Let me kind of express what I've been finding out through my investigation and being able to call them on the things that they're trying to falsely put out in the media, and basically calling the media on the false narrative that they helping them push, because you're not helping the people when you have a story on one day and then you come and back the story up with a put together edition that make it seem like we're lying.
Oh,
Or even the
Windows
people
98 computer sitting up there, bro. 6 on your side, not on your side.
Again, whose side is 6 on? Whose side is they on?
Pastor Ballard is brother you're talking about. Also, I gotta tell you, I want you to be able to pronounce Kimra's name right. It's like camera, but Kimra, because
Kimbra.
she'll get at you if you don't pronounce that name right. Kimra
I'm
Snipes.
sorry, Kimbra. I'm sorry, Miss Snipe. I got, then as y'all can tell, I got that southern dialect on that I haven't been able to get rid of in 20 years. So I mean, I got to forgive me if I say it wrong, but
Hey,
I'm trying.
ain't nothing to get rid of, bro. We're going with that Cadillac player music. Go on with that Southern playalistic. We understand what you're talking about.
Yes, sir.
Brother Pontos on there. Brother Pontos is being contacted. It sounds like through Sherman. Says that he was in the courtroom with Sherman. He's the white dude with that fedora hat. She said.
Oh, okay.
She said. Wanda Lewis.
Yeah.
Wanda Lewis said reached out to Dave a while back. He's on board. So we went ahead and put the his website in there. But like I said, we'll get you the phone number and all that. Get you guys contacted.
Yeah.
It sounds like he already aware of the situation and is
Yeah,
down to help.
absolutely.
So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right on, bro.
absolutely. Man, thank you
See,
guys so much.
no, thank
Thank you.
you. I appreciate you coming on, man. C. Larkin says if there are any members of the Dundee Memorial Park Association, let's work on that community getting involved. Sia is a Chad Chimer that's working kind of high level, trying to get some of these the people that, especially around the Underwood Towers, a lot of money around the Underwood Towers. We need to get them aware of what's going on, and yeah, not just looking at the WOWT uh, propaganda stories and all that. So hey, man, I gotta say it. So I appreciate that. Kimmer said you spoke to Dave. Winnie's you're saying glad you hear Mr. Lee. Everybody is she said she watched him talk. So you have talked to Dave.
Oh, so
Poncho.
I already talked to the Dave Ponchos. So I already talked to him. Is he the skinny? Is he like a skinny guy?
Yeah, skinny white dude.
Yeah, I did. Okay, I did talk to him and everything. Yeah, I asked him some questions. I talked to him. So, like I said, a lot of names I don't know, but I talked to a lot of people, and I'm just not really good with that, remember names and everything, because there's so much that's really going on around everything. So I try to write people's name down. I put it in the phone, but yeah, thank you for that.
There you go.
There you go.
And don't worry about it, bro. It's a good sign. That means you got a lot of help. If you got so many people you can't remember their names, I mean, you got a whole bunch of people got your back. So it's all good.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to do that. And this show is also stays on YouTube and Facebook. You can always go back. You can send people to it so they can hear your story.
Okay.
You can use our show for whatever you got to as well. So
okay, I got you.
Appreciate you, man. Love to you and your family, Pops and your wife as well. And appreciate y'all for coming on and spending the time with us, letting us know what's happening and fighting a good fight.
Okay, then. So, Gwen says she want to know we're going to try. It's set for May the 20th at 9 a.m., Gwen.
May the 20th. Okay.
There you go. We'll try to make sure people remember that and blast that out and remind the people.
Okay. Sure.
All right, brother. You have a good one then.
All right, y'all do too, man. Thanks so much.
Peace and love.
All right. There he is. Always a compelling conversation with that brother for sure.
I knew them computers didn't work. I just knew it.
You had the feeling, but I'm looking at the tech like if they work, they run in Windows 98, and who gonna use dial up to do what they got to do? That's a trip. Von Chapman, Mr. Lee, and his wife are the real deal. For real, man. That's that story about that the companionship that they have and the way they went in together. I will always say this, like when a man and woman get together, bro, that's where the power, they can exponentially make gains. There's nothing that can't be conquered in a situation where there's some actual real support in your relationship, and that's just a beautiful thing to hear about and see in a big way.
You can create life together. Imagine what else you can do when you direct your energy and your intentions. You can create life. So what can't you do?
Incredible. It is 9:02 right now. If you are a believer in the concept of time, which sometimes we are not.
I'm gonna have to acknowledge a comment from Mama God though, because Brother Lee ain't the only one. She says it is got to be bigger than Joni Poor being pissed. What is the conspiracy behind this issue? It's more to this. I feel it in my spirit, and I can tell you, Mama God got that black mama intuition. Like, when she feel it, she know.
She tapped in.
She tapped in.
He feel it too. That's why he keep on saying allegedly. My theory.
We all feel it. We all feel it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So, I can't. To me, every time we talk about this and talking to him, I'm like, this is what this show is for. This is what this is for. Breaking down that news piece from WOWT. That's what we did this for, bro.
Is that what we calling it? That's propaganda, bro. That's all that was propaganda.
Straight up, no holds barred, top to bottom propaganda. Straight up. You can see it even if you don't know the situation.
Somebody else mentioned, we're not about we last episode we gave our respects to Brother Chapman. Like I said, I grew up watching Brother Chapman. You know what I mean? And
we still saying that. We still saying they made him do it.
But to that point, the credibility of not just him but WOWT, man. Credibility goes a long way, especially in news.
There you go.
Can we trust you?
Especially these days. If you're not a personality, you don't have the credibility, you don't have the authenticity, then are you to be believed? Everybody's too savvy. Everybody sees Everybody is used to Fox News now, MSNBC now. Everybody's used to people with a slant getting on TV telling you what's up. So if you're still a newsman, so yeah, it's unfortunate, bro. It's one of the big, like I said, it's the most blatant propaganda piece I've ever really seen and studied from top to bottom like that. That was incredibly wrong. It's unbelievable. And again, and it's even it was heavy when we talked about it on the last show. It was big. It's super big now because now we have a brother who was part of the whole process and the news piece and everything. Got interviewed by Chapman about the story. Part of the story. That's like they confirmed everything we were saying. They spent days cleaning that joint up. They showed common areas only. Remember, we was breaking that down. We were stopping the video. That's a common area. That ain't nobody's unit. And from top to bottom, man, top to bottom confirmed everything that we were saying, and it's just really kind of incredible to me that that's the case. That's the case. So, but you know what? I stayed up very late last night watching Black Twitter, A People's History on Hulu, and somebody in the chat, I think Sia said Hasani got the receipts. Receipts come from Black Twitter. When you post something out on Twitter and then you show the screenshot or you show the document or you show the evidence of what it is you're saying, you bring in the receipts for everybody who's not of the Black community that doesn't know what that means. That means that you are bringing the proof. Brother Hasani Lee brings the receipts to everything that he comes out his mouth, everything that he says, he's proving. And so again, when you have what so-called news,
hold on,
go ahead.
Even further beyond that, when he doesn't have proof, he has the wherewithal to say allegedly, even if he has a strong feeling. Take that into account, y'all. This ain't somebody that's just saying, yeah, I got proof with everything. Even when he doesn't have the proof, he will let you know and say, yeah, this is me saying this. This is alleged. But we know, even without absence of proof, there's a high possibility of some validity to his claims.
Think about everything that we're ever talking about. Our first season was called Journalism is Activism. We are talking about building citizen journalists. We're talking about building content creators that can put these things out and then use the tenets of journalism in order to be a trusted source. Who do you trust right now more? The actual reporter on WWT or a citizen journalist like Hasani Lee? Who do you believe more? Who is bringing the receipts? Who's telling the truth? So this is the whole reason why this exists. Everything that we've been doing from jump. It's too important of a thing. And I'm sorry that we're going over, but it's too important of a thing. It's too important.
It got me charged up. And I got to tell you, Paul, as somebody who was trained in journalism and one of the most, historic landmark American Times, talking about the Trump administration and the whole Trump thing and the attack against news and fake news and all of this. I hope y'all understand what we are doing as First Guy Omaha is revolutionary in the realm of the fourth estate in journalism. Journalism is a right. Journalism is one of the only professions guaranteed by the Constitution.
First Amendment.
The First Amendment. Understand, we all have the right to do this. And as First Guy Omaha, we're making sure it's done with integrity. But the fourth estate shall live on. We are, man.
And you know what else I'm thinking? I always had this whole theory, about news gang. Doing the news is the most gangster thing you can do.
Journalism is activism.
Right. Journalism is activism. Can you imagine what you got to do to bust up in the towers and think about what Sherman Wells is doing? He's a warrior. Warrior Wells is busting up in the mug with his camera, getting stuff. And with the threat of being arrested for being in the building because of these power hungry people that are trying to act like he's doing something wrong, busting up in the mug, bringing folks to the spot that look at the mold, everything. You got to be gangster to roll up in something like that and get the information, because they're gonna try to block you from getting the info.
I mean, you heard Brother Lee. He just told you how real it is. You ever, man, I can, man, like he already told you how real it is. How many journalists have, unalive themselves by shooting themselves in the back of the head?
Man,
It's, you got to have courage to tell the truth, but the truth must be told.
you gotta, yeah. It's real, man. Kimra, yeah. Aaron is another one who be on their TikTok telling the truth, and Kimra, I can imagine what Aaron's face was looking like at the time. We're gonna go ahead and get out of here, man. We sorry that we are going past. I do want to make mention of a couple things that is going on this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
especially the brothers in town, Kamasi, Washington. There's still some tickets left. It sounds like May 12th, Sunday, 8 o'clock. He's gonna be in town. Always a good thing to support this brother right here, who's one of the best brothers ever, and one of the most talented people, bringing new jazz, bringing new generation to jazz, and everything else that's happening. Shout out to Slowdown for having the wherewithal to bring this brother out amidst he's coming into in a territory, an area that isn't really leaning towards jazz in the way. And you come into, he's even worried about it coming to Nebraska, but he's been here enough time now to know that there's some Omaha heads out here that really get down with him. So I want to always shout him out for the work that he's doing. He's grew up with Terrace Martin. They've been doing work. Terrace, his father was Curly Martin, Omaha legend. They have a great connection with Omaha, and they never leave us out of their world tours. He's on a world tour right now, and he's coming through. So shout out to Kamasi, Washington for that. You want to see some excellence, some black excellence? Please check him out at the Slowdown if there is still tickets. This is happening this Sunday at 8 o'clock.
You never know. You might have Andre 3000 pop out with the flute. They got a track together.
So they got
You
a track
never know.
Straight up. Straight up. I highly encourage everyone to check out this show on Hulu, Black Twitter, A People's History. It will blow your mind because it's everything that we're talking about right here. You're talking about the way that citizen journalism works.
Actually,
Been working on
speaking of
Twitter.
that, Marlon Harrison in the chat. He says Black Twitter during the 2010s was the golden era of Twitter. We were live tweeting during major events like presidential elections, award shows, TV shows, and Black Lives Matter.
Straight up. You also know it got put off, but Cinco de Mayo parade is happening 10th through 12th. That is starting today. 10th through 12th. The Cinco de Mayo is going down. I think the parade happens Saturday. So definitely check that out. I think I saw something earlier too that they still needed volunteers. I don't know if that's still true, but you can sign up at cdmomaha.com if you want to be a volunteer. I'm sure they probably need help all the way up to the day of the parade. So definitely check that out and see if you can help out as well. But yeah, straight up Cinco de Mayo in Omaha is going down. Cinco de Mayo went down in Lincoln last week and on the actual Cinco de Mayo, but that's they didn't have Berkshire Hathaway in town. So yeah.
Big money moves.
Yeah, we're going to remind you about that we're going to be at the booth talking about the next wave of First Sky Omaha. This is happening first Friday in Benson. This is June 7th. Buddy will be in town,
Yeah,
so
man.
it's going to be a little bit of a Chad Chimers kickback and a celebration of 7 seasons and a discussion about what's happening, what's going to be happening next. The next wave is going down. So shout out to Rain's Magic, Rain's Productions. Rain, she used to have a show with us called Rain's Magic, the Detox,
Yeah, man.
back on Mind and Soul Days, and she's back in the mix, and we're doing some things and working on some new shows and all that good stuff. So shout out to her for helping us with this event and also be our partners over at BFF. Yeah, it's going down. It's going to be a lot of people out there on first Friday, June 7th, and we're going to be a part of it. So mark that on your calendars and come on through.
Come on.
Don't forget to put this on your calendar as well. June the 1st, man, is going down. Black Agenda Alliance, the Midwest Pan-African Conference is happening from 4 to 7. Dr. Umar Ifuntunde is going to be at the Assembly of the Saints, 4224 North 24th Street. Remember, last time he was here at the Assembly of the Saints, the place was packed, pretty much sold out. So you're going to have to go to blackagendaalliance.com and get your tickets. And I believe you're supposed to get your tickets. There's a flyer that is up on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and as you can see, there's a one of them things called that you can take
QR.
a picture of, QR code that'll give you some more information as well. And then we still haven't gotten the flyer for the second day as well. Buddy, you want to tell them about June 2nd?
Yes. Second day will be Brother Nuri Muhammad. Again, Nuri Muhammad will be the speaker on the second day. Shout out to again, brother Kasim for locking that in and letting us know about this. So again, it will be a 2-day event. Brother Nuri Muhammad, if you're not familiar, is a student minister under the tutelage of brother Farrakhan, Minister Farrakhan. Excuse me, but definitely peace and honors, to Minister Farrakhan and Nuri Muhammad. Brothers get down, a part of the Nation of Islam. So you know how they coming.
There it is. There it is. Also, coming up May 19th, Malcolm X birthday celebration has happened. Save these dates. May 19th. Also, that's the Sunday dinner. May 22nd, Hall of Fame induction. It's going to be a very important one there. Bring your cameras and be a part of that celebration there, as Malcolm X, son of Omaha, gets into the Hall of Fame,
Man,
Nebraska Hall of Fame, which is a big deal. So shout out to Malcolm X Memorial Foundation for the work they're doing there, and of course this summer coming up. Freedom Tainment has got a whole bunch of stuff going on. June 15th. Definitely, this is all stuff that's coming up pretty fast here. So I would definitely suggest you put that in your plans. Of course, Freedom Tainment is going to have stuff for the family all day long, and then later on that night, Joe is going to be performing with special guest Case. Anjali and Time is going to get down. This is happening over at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation grounds. 7 p.m. is the concert. Definitely go check them out. Go to Freedom Tainment. I think it's Omaha Freedom Festival at gmail.com for more information. If you want information on that and get your tickets and all that good stuff, and definitely support Freedom Tainment, man. They bringing the heads. They're bringing big names to North Omaha, which is the goal here. So we appreciate them.
yeah, man.
Cheers to them. Cheers to Freedom Tainment.
Mazel tov.
All right, we're going to go ahead and get out of here, man. We appreciate everybody that has joined us again. We'll have there's information on brother. I'm sorry, I'm having them now. I'm having Levi Blake's funeral arrangements. Yes.
Yep.
Later this month, yeah, and there'll be some information on Friends of First Sky on that as well. Oh, don't forget also Juneteenth Joy Fest. Speaking of Terrace Martin. This summer we get to have Kamasi and Terrace come through and perform.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So Terrace Martin is going to be at the Juneteenth Joy Fest. This is Saturday, June 15th. Mark your calendars for that. The tickets are on sale now. And this is going to be an awesome, awesome show. Don't miss Terrace Martin when he comes out here. As a matter of fact, we're going to have Balagia on the show next Wednesday. So she's going to come on and talk about this, do some giveaways and so on and so forth. So this is coming up as well. And this is one not to miss in a big, big way. So please don't miss it. 95.7 The Boss is also putting on Finesse 2 times. Special guests coming. This is May 11th, so this is actually tomorrow. I don't know if you got anything going on Saturday night at 7 o'clock. If you want to go see Finesse 2 times, he's going to be this is the first annual Mother's Day celebration. 95.7 The Boss does the Father's Day celebrations. This is the first Mother's Day celebration he's doing. This is going to be at the Admiral, I believe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2234 13th Street in Omaha. It used to be the Sokol Auditorium. Definitely go check it out. Boss DJs will be there as well. Finesse 2 times. That's what's up. And speaking of the Father's Day situation, he's having a comedy show. With some more and a special guest at the Admiral as well. 2234 13th Street. Mama call him Sokol. I'm gonna call him Sokol. June 16th is going on 7 p.m. That's happening. Celebration of fatherhood. So go to 95.7 The Boss. Get your tickets on these as well. Lots happening this summer, and we're just going to keep reminding you about it. And of course, we got to buy out which one we're going to do, pick the time, pick the place, figure out which one we care about more and all that good stuff. And so just want to let you know that it's happening, and the ones that we highly encourage you go check out as well, and ones we're going to be trying to make. So with that, that'll do it for the haps. Buddy, you got some words for the people?
Reminding the people, Tuesday is the primary. Make sure you're prepared. Make sure you're on top of things. Make sure you know who you're going to vote for, how you're going to vote. Make sure you got your ID, all that good stuff. And also, if you're not going in person, make sure you're sending your ballot in and dropping it in the right drop boxes and all that good stuff, man. So again, Tuesday is the primary. Let's definitely make sure we have our voices heard. Again, some important races, important issues going to be on the ballot. So yeah. Let's stay on top of things. In the meantime, between time, to take care of each other. Let's show up for each other because I remind you, we all we got. But, even if it's not a lot, it's enough. So, again, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Catch the same time, same place, man. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday right here on First Sky Omaha in the morning. And, in the meantime, between time, Paul B.
Yo.
Take it away, man.
Man, Black Dynamite has said DJ Katie Rain. I don't think she DJing. I don't think she
No, no,
DJing.
no.
No, but she'll be hanging out and doing some things with First Sky for sure, and we appreciate her for doing so. Wanda Lewis is saying something that I'm deeply feeling because this is what our mission is, what we do. She says, "I might not always be there when you call, but I'm always on time, giving my community my all by sharing the information that I'm aware of. Much love, great show. Thank you
Thank you.
very much."
Thank you.
That's exactly That's exactly what we've decided to do too. In the
Yeah, man.
summer of 2020, they call it Freedom Summer. Youngsters were going out doing a lot of the protesting, and they were shooting information to us, and we were firing up First Sky Omaha so we can disseminate that out, share that. That's our form of activism as well. So the information got to get out. It's got to get out to the people that are not boots to the roots. It's got to help organize the people that are boots to the roots, and that's what our mission is here. So hopefully we're trying to do the best we can on that, and we love your feedback and everything, all the comments that you give us about how we can do that better. Because we're here about the communication side. That's what this is here for. And I'm feeling very proud, man. I'm feeling very, very good that we can have something happen like a lot of the chat chimers show up to Mr. Lee's court hearing and things like that. This is all being discussed with all of us. Conversations with Shara Weston is something that you ought to check out as well. The Hood Table, definitely Sherman Wells. We're right now, especially with this particular story, doing a lot of talking about it. A lot of talking about this particular thing with OHA. So hopefully it'll be more subjects and more things that we can talk about together in the future and have more voices out here as well. Speaking of it, shout out to the work that Kimra Snipes always does. She's always supplying us with so much of the information that's out there. She's also Boost to the Roots, always hitting these meetings and bringing back her notes and assessments. She don't just tell us how she feels about it, but she comes back with actual receipts. She comes back with actual notes of what was said and what was happening. So we can't thank her enough for the work that she's doing, and a lot of other people in the chat that are doing the work. We really appreciate you guys for doing that, and also for being a part of this show, and also for spreading the word, spreading the show, and getting it to other people, having other people come through, the Ghost listeners especially. Man, can't thank you enough. Can't do it without you. Thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before you. And thanks to you, the chat chimers, allowing us to speak with you. We will see you on Monday. You guys take care of yourselves this weekend. Try to get out and do something fun. There's all kinds of fun stuff happening. The weather's supposed to be decent. We also need joy as well. Man, so even though we're
food,
farmers market.
Yeah, jumping off. Yeah, man. Get outside, man.
Yep. Get outside, get some sun, get some spirituality.
There you go.
Got to do. With that said, we're going to get out of here. Again, apologize for the late outro, but we appreciate everybody that stuck around with us for it. And again, we'll see you Monday when we talk to the senators and the other brothers with the feet on the boots to the roots.
There you go.
Sherman Wells and Brother Kassim. So we'll see you then.
Peace.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red, the black, and the green. At the crossroads